Clothing at Linden Market, 132nd just north of Dodge.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover.
You just crossed him over. Danced him.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Welcome into the crossover.
What up?
Josh, Sip, how are we?
I'm great. I'm doing well. Sip?
Having me.
You're welcome. I mean, I didn't have you, but
Yeah. No, we had it.
We just talked, Robbie.
we did just talk. We had a nice, fun conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good time.
He's always fun to talk to.
Yeah, he's a good hang.
Yeah. Very good hang.
I've never actually hosted a show with him.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you're missing out.
I feel like I've covered most of the other bases of
Mhm.
Omaha and Lincoln radio personalities.
Yep.
Never actually hosted a show with Sip.
So you've what other bases are we talking about?
Like people he's hosted the show with.
I know, like who?
Me.
Damon.
I've hosted with everybody here.
Okay.
Even Happer.
Jake.
Even Happer. I haven't hosted with Jake.
Jake
never hosted
Sorensen.
I've never hosted with Jake Sorensen. I called a game with him in college. We called a a random Nebraska win in Doc Sadler's last year.
Jake Sorensen.
93.7 the ticket.
Yeah,
Blah,
is
blah,
my
blah,
co-host.
Blah, blah, blah.
He's my co-host. He's
No,
very
Josh
easy
is your co-host
today.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, Jake Sorensen is a really easy to do shows with.
So I've had him as an on-site producer,
Nice.
but I haven't had him as a co-host.
Okay.
I guess there's a couple people in Lincoln I haven't hosted with, but I got all my bases covered in Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody at the zone.
Everybody at the zone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've hosted with.
And then what's the rest of your day look like, Robbie?
Well, I'm gonna go to the gym.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, to the gym.
I'm hanging out with some buddies this evening.
Oh,
Maybe have a few.
One Beer Friday.
Yeah, well, probably more than one,
Well,
but we'll
Don't forget
see.
the hashtag One Beer Friday.
Yeah, we'll send out the what we're drinking. I don't know what we're drinking yet, so we'll have to see.
Okay.
That's pretty much today. Tomorrow I'm gonna play a little pickleball tomorrow.
Okay.
Pickleball.
Yeah, you guys ever play pickleball?
Pickleball.
Don't think so.
It's
no.
pretty fun.
Oh, I've heard. I've seen it. I know the courts and all that.
I really enjoy tennis.
Mhm.
And pickleball is like in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
But you don't have to play as often to keep your skills kind of
Okay.
fresh. Like
Yeah.
tennis is kind of like golf in that you have to stay pretty up on it to
Mhm.
stay decent. Pickleball is a little more forgiving.
That'll be fun.
So playing some pickleball and going to a luau tomorrow.
Wow, look at
Yeah.
you.
Big
What
weekend for
What
me.
a weekend.
Lots
What's
of
this
stuff.
luau at?
It's at a friend's house. It's probably not an authentic luau.
Uh-huh.
I think it's just a bunch of white folks wearing Hawaiian shirts.
Hell
But that's what most luau's are,
Yeah,
right?
sure. Yeah. You gotta
a
go to
theme.
Hawaii to get the authentic thing.
Yeah. I
Is
think
this
so.
like a champagne discussion where it's like bubbly wine versus actual
Yeah,
champagne?
it's just so the if it doesn't occur in Hawaii, it's not an actual luau, something like that. If it occurs
on the
in
mainland?
in the continental 48, it's just a cookout with tropical drinks and clothing.
Sure,
So yeah, it'll be fun though.
Awesome. What are you doing this weekend?
Not a lot.
Writing, probably.
Yeah, I got to
A
write.
column.
Yeah, I got to write tomorrow,
Mm.
and I got to write. Oh no, not a lot Sunday. I don't know. I'll do something Sunday.
Good.
Maybe some hog. I hope this truck is all right. My truck's.
He's
got
very
a,
worried about his truck.
got a weird light on. I can't figure out
Uh-oh.
what it is.
He walked in with like a book. I thought he was like going to be like, "Hey, I want to recommend this book to you," but then I realized it was for his vehicle.
It's from my. It was my owner's manual. So
Yeah.
what's happening with it? When I pulled in, like the steering's funny. Like it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Might have like a power steering issue, maybe.
Maybe I hope that's what it is.
Well, you're
Yeah.
an old. You drove cars without the power steering before, right? I've never done that.
I hope it's a power steering.
I've never driven a car without power steering.
I've
Josh, it
had-
sucks.
I've
Yeah, it
had
sounds
mine
like it
go
does.
out before,
Mhm.
and it was very difficult to.
Bad Tim's.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah.
But so give me an idea. You seem like a guy that would drive like an old school truck. Is that what we're talking about
I
here?
drive a Colorado, Chevy Colorado.
Okay. So I was thinking, I have like in my head like a 1980 like F-150. That's like what I picture. you in.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
No.
I've seen your truck.
You seem like an old school truck guy.
Well, I
He's an old
suppose.
school guy.
lot of people think I'm a mechanic. I'm not. I'm not inclined that way at all.
You do.
He gives off the
look
vibe.
Yeah, you give off a mechanical vibe.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Where
I
I'd
used
shake
to-
your hands and it smell like oil.
Yeah, he's got like the grease stains
Yes.
on the hands. Looks like he fixes his own stuff.
Yeah, I was sitting when I was at the Daily Nebraskan
In college?
in college. Yeah, I was sitting at my desk, and one of the news editors was a woman, and I always remember this for some reason. Well, I remember it because it's happened, and then it continued to happen. But she looked at me, and first of all, she goes, "What's your name? Is it Zip?" And I said, and I said, "Is your name Zip?" And I said, "No, Steve." She goes, "You a mechanic? You look like a mechanic." I'm like, "No, I don't know. I'm not a mechanic, and I don't know. I don't work on engines at all." But she goes, "What's your name? Zip? Are you a mechanic? You look like a mechanic."
Zip is a good mechanic name.
It
Though.
is a good.
Like,
you
I
see
would
it on the shirt.
I would trust a mechanic named Zip. I'd be like, oh, I'm in good hands
Hey,
here.
we got engine troubles here.
No,
the guy named Zip's not going to lie to me.
pretty bad with the whole thing, actually.
Really? Yeah, I don't know anything about cars.
I don't
think I'm just
either.
gonna get on Highway 6 and take it easy on back to
That's
Lincoln.
probably a good call.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
We'll cross our fingers here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always tell him to text me when he gets home. Now I'm going to make sure, like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
text me when you get
Yeah,
home.
you got to.
Yeah,
maybe
for sure.
maybe stay on the phone with him the whole time.
I'll
make
text you
sure
from
he's okay.
Ashland, and I'll text you from Greenwood, and I'll text you from Waverly,
Oh, thank
and I'll text you from
You just got the
Lincoln.
little stops, you
Yeah,
know, maybe
yeah.
do a little rural Nebraska tour on the way back to
Yeah, Western Nebraska.
Yeah.
Go Western Nebraska.
Yeah,
West-
Western Nebraska.
Waverly. You're from Western Nebraska. You're from Columbus.
What kind of sports are we talking about today?
On the show?
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess there's gonna be some football.
I think it's mainly going to just be the football today.
Just the football. You're
Yeah.
not gonna get real deep into the British Open.
We'll talk a little. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about Tiger.
Not a lot of Donovan Mitchell trade scenarios.
Probably not. See,
Ooh,
when
Donnie, is
I
that
like
what's the
to,
deal?
I like to play to my co-host strengths. So when we have fill-ins, when you're in, what do? We talk a little NBA. When Sip's in, I mean, we sometimes used to talk about LeBron and Steph Curry and compare them.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, there's a lot of Husker football stuff. that
Curry obviously has surpassed LeBron.
of
Obviously,
course, yeah. He threw LeBron out like he threw his mouthpiece back in the day. You remember the
What are they
mouthpiece?
trying to do with Donnie Mitchell?
he's on the block. He's getting traded.
We're not talking about the
So
block in the paint.
What are they doing? What's the deal?
We don't have a
Call GMs probably.
we don't have a package yet, but the Knicks are talking about
Oh
him.
boy,
That'd
Which
be interesting.
yeah, that's been happening for a while, right?
yeah, they're apparently they got close last night, but I guess Danny Ainge was asking for like 7 first rounders.
Utah.
which is too many.
It's a
Too
lot of
many first rounders. But Rudy Gobert kind of screwed up the market because Minnesota's dumb. So
Mhm.
we'll see what happens. I think I would bet on a deal getting done at some point.
Yeah.
The Knicks are definitely going to overpay for Donovan Mitchell because they're the Knicks. And Danny Ainge is probably going to fleece them because he's Danny
Because he's
Ainge.
Danny Ainge, yeah.
And I think that's how it's going to go. I don't know exactly what it'll end up looking like, but probably be 2 or 3 young guys and a handful of picks.
Okay.
Have you ever been to Salt Lake City?
No, I'm not.
No, I have. My brother used to live there, but I haven't been there.
I flew through it one time on the way out to Portland. It looked pretty. I'd love to actually go there.
I hear it's nice.
Yeah, I'd love to go there.
My
sometime.
brother enjoyed living there. Him and his family go back to visit,
Mhm.
occasionally when they take family vacations and stuff, hang out with their old friends there and stuff. But
Nice.
yeah, he lived there for, I don't know, handful of years, 3, 4, maybe. I don't know. I don't keep track of other people's lives that well. I'm bad at it.
Do people generally don't make Utah a destination like they don't make Nebraska a destination? I mean, it wouldn't be
Probably outdoorsy people, right? For the mountains
yeah,
and
it's
stuff?
like people that don't want to go to Colorado to be outdoorsy go to Utah. They do. I think like there's a lot of skiing in Utah, like Park City, I think.
yeah.
And then
If you're Mormon, you probably want to go there.
yeah, it's like a Mecca destination, I guess.
Sure,
I don't
yeah,
know.
You might
Mormons,
want
you
to
know
go to
about
Salt
Mormons?
Lake soon. The water level's going way
if you
down.
want to see the lake,
Yeah.
yeah, you're a big lake guy. But yeah, I think
But
it's
if
a
you just want
very
to see the Salt City, you're good to
also
go.
a lot of people. I don't know about like tourism, but a lot of people are moving there.
I
Oh,
prefer
really?
Pepper
Yeah, there's
City.
like a weird like internet influencer
Is?
convergence on Utah.
Oh,
Especially like in the fitness community, like workout.
because of the outdoor stuff, right?
I don't know. There's a lot of like gyms and stuff there.
Hmm.
There's also a very strong like nutritional supplement business like out there. So
I'll
there's a
be
lot
down.
of
Yeah.
supplement companies that are based in Utah.
Tony says on the YouTube page, "Best snow on Earth," and I don't think that was a cocaine reference. I think he meant the actual
Probably
snow.
not. I don't know.
It was a cocaine.
Maybe it was a cocaine.
He
wrapper.
actually he said best snow of Earth.
Of Earth. Excuse me.
Is
Yeah,
that where
not
snow comes from?
Yeah, perhaps it does.
Yeah, I think it's like a skiing, but I think a lot of people ski there.
Yeah.
But my brother doesn't ski, so I don't know what he does.
I skied one time. It was okay.
Never
How'd you
been
do?
skiing.
How'd you do?
I fell a few times. I was worried I was going to like break my legs. I didn't break my legs though, so that was good.
I think anytime
Net
you
positive.
go skiing and survive
Feeling good.
and don't break any limbs, I think that's a win.
I love the ski lifts. Those are fun.
How high do they go? I'm not a big fan of heights.
Well, I was over just at Crescent,
Okay.
so it wasn't too crazy.
Okay. Maybe I'll cross country ski.
Yeah, that'd be a good workout. Holy crap, man! Those people are strong.
It is. It's intense.
Oh yeah.
It's intense. I had a teacher in high school that liked to cross country ski. I was like, oh, that's a weird hobby.
My teacher probably likes Utah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Mhm.
They're from Western Nebraska.
Columbus.
I don't know exactly where, but Western Nebraska.
Yeah,
I
that
think.
is really condescending.
What? Why is it condescending?
What condescending? It's just talking about your hometown.
Snooty.
Snooty. Joe in Phoenix says
Talking about papillion.
Elitist, maybe.
Elitist,
Might
yeah.
be.
somebody called me that one time an Omaha elitist.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I would say 100%.
Aw.
Yes, without
Wow,
a doubt.
You sound like a snowflake. You sound like the snowflakes in Utah right now. Joe in
Yeah,
Phoenix
the
says,
snowflake.
we have a national treasure in studio and SIP, and we are wasting this valuable radio time talking about non-related sports issues. No one cares about Utah, and more people move to Arizona every year than anywhere else.
It's a crossover.
People forget about Arizona.
We're
They sound like an
crossing over.
Arizona.
Thank you, Sipple.
elitist.
It's a crossover.
Also,
Joe.
do
it's
you-
a
We're
Friday.
getting ready. We're
Do
warming
you
up.
not know Sip at all? He talks as much nonsense as any of us.
Yes. We're not going to start the show with some hot takes. We'll
Yeah,
save those for next segment.
Well, this is like the warm-ups, right?
Yeah, exactly. You got to
Is
stretch
that
out the
what it is?
voice.
Getting kind of loose.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we're just like going in a layup.
It's like a soft open.
There you go.
so a
Yeah.
layup drill.
It's like when you open a restaurant, you invite your friends.
You do a
and family.
soft open, make sure all the things work out right.
Yeah,
make sure
that.
everything's kind of
Yeah, Sip has to make
going
sure the
okay.
things work out. He knows how that goes.
And then-
Easy.
and
Yeah.
then boom, you go.
I do. We've had that conversation on air about my Viagra.
Well, yeah. We've
Yeah.
talked about you and
Yeah,
prescription drugs a few times.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Should we move on? Move on.
All right, that's all I got.
All right. That was a good crossover.
Yeah, enjoy
Hey,
the
Robbie.
show.
Ravi, enjoy
Yeah.
the luau.
I'm excited. It's gonna be
The
fun.
Lula at the Luau.
Are you gonna do anything crazy?
I mean, I'm gonna have some drinks. I don't, crazy things usually ensue after that.
I wonder what kind of music gets played at a luau.
I think
Elvis.
there's a band
Elvis?
there.
Probably a lot of Elvis.
Elvis?
I
Yeah.
don't think it's
Elvis
a.
liked Hawaii.
Good job, Nick, the producer.
He was a big Hawaii guy. That's true. I don't think it's like authentic Hawaiian luau music, but there is going to be a band there for
A band.
well, like two guys that play music. I don't know.
Yeah.
More than one's
Simon
a,
and Garfunkel. That was a two-person band.
I would say more than one's a band, isn't it?
There's a lot of
Sure.
bands that are just two dudes.
Yeah, the Oasis brothers, right? That's a band.
They had other members. Didn't
There
they?
were other
The
members of
Gallagher
Oasis.
brothers. Man, those
Nope.
guys hate each other.
They
Oh,
do
they
hate
hate
each
each
other.
other.
They hate each other.
Were you a big Oasis guy in the 90s?
No.
No.
What's the
Oasis.
story? Morning Glory?
Yeah, it did not.
Oh,
Fantastic
The
album.
He looks
music did
great
not
album.
resonate with me at all.
He's really more of a Sister Hazel guy. I can tell.
no.
Not a big fan of Champagne Supernova.
Oh, Champagne Supernova
No, those are horrible.
in the sky.
Don't say it's horrible.
What about
Sip. That's just
Wonderwall?
wrong. Objectively
But baby,
No,
you're gonna be the one that saves me.
Radiohead?
After all? Yeah.
no,
What
this
about
is a
Radiohead?
very subjective. Nick, this is a very subjective discussion.
It's not. Oasis is objectively a great band.
No, they're not.
That's objective.
No.
I don't think Nick
Ra-
knows the
radio-
A lot of bands are subjective. Oasis isn't one of them.
Yeah, that's one.
Sip, you a Radiohead guy?
Of them. No.
You too?
I never got
No.
into Radiohead either. Remember, I listened to Kid
Creed.
A or whatever. I was like,
No. Oh, I don't mind.
Yeah,
Robbie!
yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah, I don't mind Creed.
Love me
Zeppelin?
some Creed.
I go in and out on Zeppelin.
who do you like?
Skinnerd.
I like Skinner. a
There we
lot.
go.
Oh, wait, we can do this. CCR.
No.
ZZ Top.
Really?
No.
No ZZ Top?
Oh, like,
Tupac.
Like you guys, your age, that genre Seether.
Pink Floyd. Oh, Seether's
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Big.
So you
I
like
love
little-
Oh, so 3 Days Grace then? No.
Not as much. No.
Breaking Benjamin.
I used to be.
I've got him pegged, guys.
Yeah. There's some of that
Who's the
breaking.
band who sung Headstrong?
Trapped.
Trapped. You like Trapped?
Uh-uh.
They
Trapped
had
with a
a
T?
s- Trapped didn't really have
You
a
know,
lot of
I-
other
that-
songs.
that-
Backstreet Boys.
That generation,
Papa Roach.
like Pop
Papa
Evil,
Roach.
Papa Roach, Shine Down.
Pop
See?
Evil's still kind
See?
of newer, Sip.
Yeah. What?
Pop Evil's relatively
Yeah,
new.
that's
Red Hot
newer.
Chili Peppers.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can
hell
do
yeah.
that.
Oh, he's a Peppers
I mean,
guy.
I'm very just Tom Petty.
Okay.
Eh,
The Beatles.
Not a big
Rolling
Beatles
Stones.
guy.
Yes, Rolling
Stones
Yes.
guy.
See,
Yes.
like I said,
If he's not a Beatles guy, he's a
Yeah,
Stones
yeah,
guy.
you
That's
can
kind of how
nope,
it goes.
nope. You can't.
More
You have to be a
Stones
fan
than
of one or the
Beatles.
other.
Yeah, more Stones.
What about the Who?
In and out.
Okay.
Pink Floyd.
In and out.
I don't
Def
like Pink.
Leppard.
I don't like Pink Floyd.
Like Def
I
Leppard.
like one Pink Floyd.
Like
album.
several
one?
Def Leppard songs.
Wish You Were There. Wish You Were Here.
Wish you were here.
Sticks.
like
My dad loves
respect.
Styx.
Like respect.
Incubus.
In
No.
Sync.
No, not out on Incubus.
No.
JT by himself, solo
Don't
album.
know who JT is.
Guys,
Justin
he
Timberlake.
gave us a
Oh.
really good palette. You just completely
Gotta hate.
ignored it.
Some
Listen,
people
I'm
are
trying to
eclectic.
round it out. He gave us the center. I'm trying to
Eminem.
round it out.
I can deal with
You
it.
can deal with some Eminem.
What about some Dre?
Love Dre.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a dude.
You did
I
not
said
forget
the other
about Dre.
day,
NWA.
If I died and came back a black dude, I'd want to be Dre.
Yeah, so would I. He's a
Uh,
billionaire. I mean, I'd be like, yeah, if I died and came back, I want to be Michael Jordan. Like,
Yeah. Oh, hot take.
No, I'd want to be Dre.
That's a good liner. That's a
Dre-
good liner.
that's a good place to stop. I'm leaving. If I
Okay,
died
yeah,
and
yeah.
come back as
Happy
a
New
black
Year.
guy,
Happy New
I
Year.
want to
Happy
be
New
Dre.
Year.
That
Bye,
was good.
Robbie.
Have fun, boys.
Bye, Robbie.
Take care, guys.
All right, that's Robbie Lula. Steve Sipple,
Mhm.
the white Dr. Dre. He's in here
Yeah.
with us today.
Is that why I am?
Yeah, we got your former colleague, Chris Basnet.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he's going to join us in 3
Robbie,
o'clock
take
hour.
care. Have fun at the Luau.
Anthony Broom. We're talking Michigan and Big Red Summer School and a whole lot more. That's the lineup powered by the Rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard. The program starts next here on 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny and hot for your Friday afternoon with a heat advisory in effect until 8 p.m. for southeast Nebraska, southwest Iowa, northwest Missouri. Expect a high in Omaha near 98, but feeling closer to 104 degrees later on. Increasing clouds later this evening with lows dropping back into the mid-70s. Meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
Listen for the screwball of the day this week on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Could be someone screwy or nutty, but worthy of the screwball of the day title. Brought to you by Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, the original peanut butter whiskey, now available near you.
Well, you need to cool down, but the temperature's stuck. Call the pros in the big yellow truck. Peace of mind with no hidden fees. Heating and AC with the best guarantee. That's it.
Always on time, or you don't pay a dime. Always on time, or you don't pay a dime. Now with heating and air conditioning.
Are you feeling the pain at the pump? Aren't we all? Well, Greenberg's Jewelers is going to relieve some of the pain with free Casey's gas. Right now at Greenberg's, when you make a jewelry purchase of $1,000 or more, you'll receive a $100 Casey's gift card for gas. Spend $2,000 or more, receive a $200 Casey's gift card. And when you spend $3,000 or more, receive a $300 Casey's gift card. We know there's shortages in the supply chain, but Greenberg's is stocked with hundreds of engagement rings, wedding bands, anniversary rings, loose diamonds, pendants, and earrings. So if you're looking for the perfect birthday or anniversary gift, or you're ready to pop the question, now's the time to take advantage of Greenberg's Casey's gift card gas offer to receive up to $300 in free gas. It'll be a gas. Greenberg's Jewelers, a cut above the rest. Westroads Mall.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Spilled your milkshake? Quick, the quicker picker upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading Ordinary brand. So you can get back to your milkshake.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Bounty, the quicker picker upper.
This edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone is proudly presented by Union Bank and Trust. The program starts now.
KOZN. Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. Don't miss a moment, they'll give you your fix. We're on every day from 2 until 6. Spend your afternoons with John, Josh, and Nick. John, Josh, and Nick. They'll show you what sports talk really is.
It's a One Beer Friday, and surprise, I didn't bring in an IPA. It's okay. We're not gonna die. I wanted to surprise you with something that you would maybe like. Yeah.
Last time you gave me a good beer.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
Yeah, Nick actually reminded me of that the last time that you were in, we did not have an IPA. It was a
New Glarus.
It was a New Glarus
that was
from
good.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, so I tried, saw what I could do.
It was that beer is really hyped up, and I remember thinking it lives up to the hype.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a seriously good beer.
Yeah. So we brought in this. I was going to get something on the way in, but I realized I had some stuff at home that we got from our dear friend Eric Sorensen of D1Baseball.com during the College World Series. So I have some of that for us.
Oh, from Cali.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think you'll like it.
Sorensen's going back to L.A.
Yes, he was. He was going to do a whole road trip. Him and Mrs. Stitch.
Yeah, him and wife.
Yeah. My wife.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the last time we did a show. We were downtown.
We were downtown, and now we're in Midtown.
Yeah.
He's
Midtown.
Steve Sipple. I'm Josh Peterson.
Dundee.
We're in Dundee. Welcome in on this One Beer Friday. Steve Sipple of On3.com and a radio station you might have heard of 93.7 The Ticket. But more importantly, he is here today for the next 3 hours and 35 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to be focused.
Well,
it's not going to be a mail. Yes, we're not going to mail it in on Friday. Mail in Friday.
When you said that on the phone to me today, it seemed like you were talking to yourself. Like, yeah, we're not mailing it in today. And I'm like,
I listen to a lot of talk radio, and there's always that sort of vibe of, well, it's Friday, so let's just kind of free fall. I mean, come on.
That's not how we
free
roll.
flow Friday. I'm not down with.
We have topics today.
Yeah.
We have things to discuss today.
Yeah, I'm never down with it.
Yeah.
I'm
it's
not
fun to laugh, but we laugh and then have actual discussions.
Well, yeah, we can laugh. Yeah.
Speaking of laughing, Isaac was laughing. He tweets in on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. I literally died. I don't know if he literally died. I literally died hearing the Dr. Dre comment by Sip. Haha, legit LOL moment. That was a classic. That was a classic.
Dude. I mean,
he is
Dr.
a dude.
Dre's a dude.
Gotten some things done.
Yeah.
He's a producer.
Yeah.
He's a artist himself.
I mean, that halftime show.
He reminds me of myself.
He figured out how to sell bad headphones to people.
He figured out how to sell bad headphones to people.
I don't like Beats.
Oh, you
They're
don't?
overpriced.
They're overpriced and they inflate the bass too much. I like a nice even spread when I listen to headphones.
Well, you're white.
So we're both
What?
Nice. We're both dealing with some things today. As we
What are
talked
we
about in
dealing
the cross. Well, you're dealing with the truck issues. I broke my straw in my drink. So we're dealing with basically the same thing. Yeah.
Whoa.
Same price point, I'm guessing. Listen, here's what it sounds like now.
Nothing.
It's all air.
Yeah.
I get a little bit of water. It's
How
very
did it
frustrating.
break?
Well, it was full of ice. I was twisting off the lid to put more water in, and I could hear it go. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I got something green
Bad
on my
times.
dashboard, a green light on my dashboard. And when I pulled in, it felt like something was rubbing.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's not good.
No.
Yeah.
Like the truck wasn't moving like it should.
Is it the brakes?
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. It felt like, it felt like I had the emergency brake on, but I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know what that is.
Yeah, we'll figure
Maybe
that
somebody,
out.
yeah, text line.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, text us at 402-951-1620 if you know what's wrong with Sipple's car.
It's a Chevy Colorado, the light on
Should
the
we go take a picture
Sip, what year
of
is
the
it?
thing? 2018.
What year is it?
It's a 2018.
Should we go take a picture of it during the commercial to maybe
Yeah.
see? Okay, we'll take a picture and we'll tweet it out and be like,
That'd be fun.
help us fix Sip's car. Yeah, exactly. It'd be a fun thing to do on
Yeah,
this Friday. Other people can do the thing for us, and then you'll be good to go when
Yeah.
we leave the studio.
And we
later.
will promise to talk serious sports.
Oh, we got some stuff going on today. I said this to John earlier in the week that I am concerned that people in this area are not recognizing how stressful the football season is going to be for everybody. I'm not just saying for the coaches and the players. I'm talking about for the fans and the media. It's going to be a really bad time. I think it's going to be a really bad season.
Time?
I'll explain why later. But you had a question in your weekly chat on 3 on Tuesday. And I was like, you know what? Okay, it's fine. It's finally time for me to get this off my chest. So we'll do that. coming up in a little bit.
Gosh, dang. So,
Yeah.
And can't you look at that stress as sort of a fun type of stress where all the games are meaningful, real meaningful?
Yeah, we'll unpack
Okay,
it. Don't worry. Yeah, we'll do that. Gambling, it's coming to Lincoln maybe sooner than we realized. We could hit on that today. We mentioned it at the very end of the crossover. Your former cohort, Chris Basnett, he'll be joining us at 3:15. That should be a wonderful conversation. Tears maybe shed.
Oh, I don't think
a virtual hug over the phone.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll talk about wearing socks with sandals.
Black socks with sandals.
Yeah, which Baz thought he was being an old, but sure enough, he's being a youth. So you've kind of crossed over that line where the things of old become new again. I mean, mullets are back. Whoever thought that stupid ass
back?
Yeah.
What'd you just say?
Stupid ass.
Josh is out on mullets.
Mullets are the dumbest thing.
I had a mullet when I was like 2.
You were a baby. That's fine as a baby. It's fine if you want to even have a mullet as a bit. Kids aren't doing it as a bit these days. They're wearing mullets because they think it's fun.
People make
mullets are
look
bad.
good.
No, they don't, Nick.
Yes, they
mullets. Do. You said who is objectively good?
I have many friends of many genders who pull off the mullet.
Mullets are bad. We will not talk about mullets, though. We'll talk about other stuff with Chris Basnett. This is the first time I've had a chance to talk to you since the Chubba quote to you went viral, went around the world.
Chubba.
So I wanted to ask you some questions about that.
Love that.
We got clarity. We got clarity on Thomas Fidone.
Yes, we did.
We got clarity on Thomas Fidone 4 months later, so that's nice. We'll talk to Michigan today in Big Red Summer School. Anthony Broom, your new colleague at On3.com. Have you talked
Michigan coming soon?
Yeah, is he from Michigan coming soon?
No, I have not talked to him.
Yeah, well, this will be a first time for all of us. That'll be
He's
nice.
verified, Sip.
Talk about he's got the
he's got the check mark.
Neither am I. I don't have the blue check mark.
How come we don't have it?
I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah, because we don't work for like a TV station.
Sip,
all the TV station people get the blue check mark.
Sip, you could get it because you're a writer, but one of the qualifications is you have to have like published stuff. Like I've looked into it.
Yeah.
I don't qualify.
There's a process to go through. Then during the pandemic, or right after the pandemic, they you can't even get a blue check mark now. I don't think they
stopped giving them out?
I think that they stopped giving out blue check.
Is it because of the supply chain?
It might. I don't know why it is. Somebody tried to do it for me and they said, "Hey, we can't do this." They stopped it.
And then also want to get your feeling on the direction of college sports, given the news of the last few weeks. Okay. So all of that and more. You can give us a call, 402-951-1620. You can also text us at that phone number as well. You can hit us up into the Equitable Bank inbox. Josh at 1620thezone.com, or you can find us on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed at USC 1620. Brad chimes in on said JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Make sure Sip isn't adjusting his microphone after every segment like he does on his own program. It's annoying. Smile emoji, smile emoji, smile emoji. What did you do?
I wonder what I do on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have to think about it. I think I do this.
Oh, like right when we go to break, and
Yeah.
so okay,
Yeah.
so
And people can
Nick
hear
has to be
that?
on the off trigger
Can
button.
people hear that?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
pretty loud. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty loud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't do it too, Josh. What
Well,
are
I
you
was
doing?
showing him the sound.
Sounds horrible.
showing
Does
him
that
the
sound horrible?
It
Yeah,
doesn't sound
just
great.
doesn't sound professional.
There's a lot I do on the radio that doesn't sound professional.
Yeah, well, talk. Got him. We're gonna have a great show today. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna tell stories.
We're gonna cry.
And we're going to maybe cry because Chris Besnett will join us in 45 minutes. When we return, though, Tiger Woods, he said some stuff today that kind of surprised me. So we'll discuss that when we return. He's Steve Sipple in today for John Bishop as he is on his way to Chicago for some Cubs baseball. Nick Guerin producing. I'm Josh Peterson. It is Unsportsmanlike Conduct on this One Beer Friday, 1620 The Zone.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
Here's a question for you. Why is it that some people aren't as stressed out about the future as you'd think they'd be? Answer: they're probably among the millions of Americans who have prepared themselves with emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply. If the worst ever happens, literally millions of American families are already protected from dealing with empty store shelves. Is yours? If not, go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now and grab some emergency food kits, at least one for each member of your family. These kits give you a wide variety of delicious meals that average over 2,000 calories per day. Everything stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage. Order your kits now by going to MyPatriotSupply.com. Your order will ship fast and arrive discreetly in unmarked boxes. Listen, this is something you need to jump on now, before the next news headline stuns the world. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. mypatriotsupply.com.
As a veteran, you get a lot of advice. But wisdom's harder to come by. A lot of people imagine themselves in our shoes without understanding the weight on our shoulders. The truth is, few can understand the pressure of finding your own way after serving in the military. But few isn't none. You've got support. You can't control the chaos, but you can chart your way through it. Steady yourself. Take a breath. You're not alone. Learn more at maketheconnection.net.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. You'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct. We had dueling polls on 1620 The Zone.
Josh Peterson, Steve Sipple, Nick Grimm on this One Beer Friday. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. We will tackle the existential question about Nebraska football coming up in our next segment. But the existential. Nick, is his mic on? Thank you.
Yep.
Existential.
Yeah. It'll be scary. But the more important topic is your truck. So we went out, we took a picture of what we think is going on with one Stephen M. Sipple's vehicle. A text coming in at 402-951-1620 from Mark. He says, have Sip check to make sure he didn't actually turn on four-wheel drive. It can make driving feel weird on dry pavement, and there is usually a green light in four-wheel drive mode.
I think I hit four-wheel drive.
All right, so that it's fixed.
Why'd you got four-wheel drive on?
I think I just hit it
accidentally. Did it, Nick? He's an old.
I think, gosh,
that will do it.
Doesn't that light look like a four-wheel drive type light?
I think. What do you think, Nick?
I mean, I think it's possible.
Four-wheel drive light.
It's an interesting way to do that light.
Yeah, right. Why not just have
I think I might have hit it.
Why not just have a four-wheel drive? Let's see.
Every vehicle I've had where I need to put it in four-wheel drive, I have a lever. It's always been analog for me.
I looked up four-wheel drive light, and most of them is actually a number 4 and then WD and then an exclamation. So, all right. Well, we'll get the response.
Weird that I'm looking at your owner's manual right now, Step, and it doesn't even have that light.
Yeah. He was triggered about that when we arrived.
Yeah, that light that's on is not in the owner's manual. That's the confusion.
Mm-hmm. Shangping Appreciation Club says, I study Sipple like a scientist would study a newly discovered species of animal. When Sipple finds something really interesting or impactful, he will say, hello. It is the Sipple in his purest form. All of you Journal Star guys,
hello.
And now you're not there, and neither is Parker anymore, but all of you guys do that. Hello. Like something will happen in a Nebraska game. Hello.
Parker.
Did you get that from them, or did
no,
they
got
get
it
from
from me. They absolutely got it
you?
from me.
Yeah, look at you being a trendsetter.
And I think I got it from Angela Beck. You probably don't even know that name.
Related to Tim Beck?
No, she used to be the women's basketball coach at Nebraska.
Okay.
Back in the day. Back
when the person was asking if your name's Zip.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that the 80s?
Yeah. It was the late 80s.
Nice.
Late 80s. Well, and she coached actually. I think Angela was the coach before Paul Sandiford. Paul Sandiford succeeded Angela Beck. Yes.
Mhm.
So
I found
that-
it, Sip.
What is it?
It's a 4-wheel drive.
Hell
good.
yeah, we fixed
That's
it.
good news, Nick.
Chevrolet Silverado 4-wheel drive warning light.
Oh, awesome.
So
Thank
I
you
just
to Mark.
slipped it. Mark and Nick, thank you. Nick, I'm impressed by Nick. I am. Okay, so this is a second time I've been very impressed by Nick. One time I was in
What
the
did he do?
McDonald's line
Yeah.
and I was listening to 101.9 and I thought for sure that sounds like Nick and he's really good, like a really good disc jockey.
Mhm.
And then I kept listening. It was really good. Now he was very impressive in taking control of this.
Of the truck stuff?
Yeah, has
Yeah.
more working knowledge with this than I do, obviously.
Yeah, same.
And thank you, Nick.
You didn't think a young Zoomer would know how to do car stuff.
I grew up in the middle of nowhere. We had to learn how to fix our
I'm
things.
just saying.
Nice. Where'd you grow up?
Iowa.
Middle of Iowa.
Western Iowa.
West Central Iowa.
West Central Iowa. So
The Carney of
whereabouts?
Iowa.
Do you know where Manning is? I get to do this.
I don't.
Do you know where Denison is?
Better.
My
There it
grandpa's
is.
name is Dennis.
I'm about like half an hour from Denison, but farther east.
I'm very impressed by what you just came up with, in part because I'm very happy. That's just a lever.
This is great. Yeah, sweet. You just got to press a button. Because I was saying, my girlfriend, she just had an issue with her alignment and was telling you how much it costs. So now you don't have to worry about that. This is awesome. You'll drive home safely and get on the interstate, 80 miles an hour.
All right,
You'll
let's
be
have a
good.
show.
One more tweet. Shank Pig Appreciation Club. Happer and Jake absolutely copied this sippilism. The hello one.
they did.
Many of the folks have. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. See, now you'll start noticing. Everyone does it. I'm like, you all got in cahoots together and started saying hello about everything.
Talk
Talk about this with Baz in a half hour.
Parker
Oh, he
caught
does
on
it
to
a
it
lot.
faster. Yeah. Baz did it though too.
Mhm.
They both do it really well too. They know when to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like Mike Breen. He knows when to say bang. Like you
Yeah.
can't just say it in the first quarter.
And hello could be
Something
a
you're
lot
looking
of
for?
different things. Like, or it works in different areas. Like if you say something disparaging about me, I can say hello.
You're an ugly human being.
Hello.
Yeah. See, you're not ugly. You're very handsome.
What if you're?
I am handsome.
Hello.
You don't need to tell me that.
What is hello?
What is?
mean?
Do you say it like
What's that?
that?
Hello.
I don't think Sip would say it that way.
That's like what
See
is
boobies
that?
for the first
That's
time.
another Adrian turnover. Hello. Hello.
What if they run a swing pass that results in a fumble?
No, that's not. That goes something. That goes.
This is
to something
precarious.
yeah, that's not hello.
Got to be careful. Texting Trev Alberts. Can we speak after the game as we speak? Tiger Woods, he missed the cut at the Open Championship, was only 3 over today. Again, the last 2 days does not look like a guy who is physically ready to be playing the game of golf. I said it on the air yesterday.
Okay.
When you see him from his torso up and you can tell that a guy is limping, like that's not good. You know, you want to see a full body if you're going to see limping.
That's a
And it's
great
like,
point.
You can like, geez, that guy is
You
just.
can tell when
oh,
just full body.
Yeah, it's not good.
Well, for those who have just landed from Mars, Tiger Woods has a surgically repaired right leg.
Yeah, he got in a horrific car accident last February.
Right, last February.
February 2021. We thought that his career might be done. He might have died.
Right.
He almost died.
Well, we thought amputation was a
Definitely.
well. He has said that amputation was on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Now, what's alarming about this that he's having these sorts of he's saying these sorts of things is when you look at Augusta, that's very hilly. Augusta's very hilly. Southern Hills, where they played PGA, very hilly. I mean, you could see why Tiger would have problems walking that, and they have to walk. But this is not a hilly course. Royal
Very
Andrews.
flat. Yeah.
It's flat.
Yeah.
So that's concerning alone. And you figured he would have trouble walking those hills of Augusta and walking those hills of Southern Hills. But this is a little different.
Yeah, and so I thought, like, reading the tea leaves over the last couple of days, it almost seemed like this could be it. I think Happer and John and I discussed it on Wednesday, or maybe it was yesterday. Like, could this be his last ever tournament? And it would make sense for a few reasons. Like, he's had a lot of success there. It's the birthplace of golf. So, like, you think about it from kind of that perspective. But he was quoted after today's round, and I'm reading a tweet from Jay Busby. Tiger Woods indicates he plans to play in future Opens. He's not sure if he'll be able to tee it up again at St. Andrews. Quote, I don't know if I'll be able to play when it comes back around here, end quote. And Jay added, no date for the next St. Andrews Open yet, but it won't be before 2026. So, I kind of view that and say, are we looking at him retiring at some point in the next, at least 4 years? And that would make a lot of sense just given where his body is at. And I don't know, it just seems like he's been much more introspective. He's looked back on his career maybe more than he ever had. And when athletes start doing that, it almost sounds like, okay, you're kind of seeing the end of the road, right? When you're willing to talk about your highs and your lows more often, I think that it's just like, okay, well, I know those tea leaves.
Yes. Okay. Well, so what are we talking about here? Part of it is, could you see Tiger getting back in a groove where you see him? Well, he's not playing the tour very much anymore, right?
I think he's only played in the majors this year.
Right. So he's not.
He's only played 4 tournaments.
He's not going to get in a groove where he wins like 3 of 4 PGA tournaments.
Sure.
How do you get in a groove now if you're Tiger?
Yeah, and that's why it's almost like I don't want to say he's a sideshow, but it's almost like he is this. Yeah, it's a little too harsh. So I don't want to pull back a little bit, but it's almost like he is this guy now that just shows up for the big events and allows fans to see him, and maybe he could finally put together like one good tournament where he makes it to Sunday and he's not even in the mix, but maybe in like the top 20.
Yeah.
Where
it's kind of like he's rolling the dice.
Yeah.
Like I'm only coming to the table every so often. I'll roll the dice and see where it goes, but don't count on it a lot.
Yeah.
Don't count on me being in the lead on the leaderboard on the final day.
Yeah.
Unless I catch lightning in a bottle or, I roll the dice well.
Yeah, so the second round is done. He finished tied for 148th, 9 over on the tournament, 3 over today. The top of the leaderboard, however, a couple of Cameron Smith and Young at the top, 13 under and 11 under. Rory McIlroy, Victor Hovland, 10 under, and then Dustin Johnson at 9 under. So low scores. Apparently there was like a prop bet coming into this one, Sip, that like 20 under was maybe the number that a lot of people were looking at in all totality. And so you already have 4 guys that are at 10 under or better. So course, it's playing pretty easy, especially for a major.
Weather's
very cooperative.
Yeah.
Much like your vehicle, very cooperative.
Much like Nick.
Yeah, and Nick doing a good job.
And our listeners.
Yep. Yeah, Rick says nothing's wrong. Vehicles in 4-wheel drive. Light is green. It's okay.
Yeah, good. That's good.
And sorry.
I sent you a link over Twitter of the website I used. It breaks down all your symbols for
Thank you, Nick.
For future reference.
Thank you.
Symbol boy.
Nick and Nick got me paid, by the way. I got a check in the mail. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. Good job, Nick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Andy says some trucks
Is
like
that uncomfortable? I say I know it can be a little awkward.
Money is nice. Some trucks like mine can switch to 4 low or 4 high on the fly with the push of a button under a certain miles per hour.
Yeah.
And then he adds, great seeing you, Sip. Andy.
Oh, thank you, Andy.
That's very kind of Andy.
I've never had a fancy button push 4-wheel drive car before. Must be nice.
No, it's not that. I got a 218 Chevy Colorado. I'm not living the high life over here. Okay. Trix showed up at the paper one time with it and said, we're getting you a new truck. She said, I'm driving a new truck to the paper. And I just want to see what you think of it. I walked outside and said, that's it. I love it. Go get it.
Hey.
Yeah, I liked it.
Strong wife move.
Strong wife move.
That is.
She did the same thing when we moved in our first house. I was laying on the couch one Sunday. She said, hey, I got a house picked out. I said, what are you talking about? We're moving.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she drove me over. She drove me over to this house. We loved it. And that was it. We
made love there on the floor.
Yeah. We got after it.
She ever showed up with a dog? It'd be like, hey, we're getting this dog.
Yeah, strong move.
No, well, she did do that. That's another one.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Bullet, the dog we have. She came home and said, I really like this dog. It's a little expensive. I said, just get it.
Whoa.
Get it. Get it.
Sight unseen.
Yeah, I didn't. Bullet. One
Bullet's
of the best decisions we ever
that's one with
made.
the ice?
Yeah.
Bullet's a cute dog.
Oh,
it's the dog with the eyes.
Nice of you to say that.
If you saw a picture of Bullet, you'd say that's the dog with the eyes.
Yeah, and he'd also say he's a cute dog. He's adorable.
I love all
what's up.
dogs.
Yeah.
I know you. I can tell you.
By the way, that Shangping Appreciation Club about you saying hello, it was just liked by Brent Wagner. So I think he's
Brent.
I think he's noticed. I think he's noticed
Brent's
the hello
a great
as well.
I owe him some shirts.
What? All right. You know what? Let's just leave that one hanging out there. When we return, this season is going to be miserable. I will tell you why.
That's beautiful. Okay.
I will tell you why. He's Steve Zippel, Judge Peterson. It's a Sportsmanlike Conduct 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Email Sharp and Benning on the Equitable Bank inbox with your love, your hate, whatever your hot takes are. We're here for you. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
The Mazda lineup of SUVs will provide safety, performance, and capability on your journey ahead. From the 3-row Mazda CX-9 to the first ever Mazda CX-50, our sales team is ready to guide you to the SUV for your lifestyle. Shop the Omaha Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers at Woodhouse Mazda in Bellevue or Woodhouse Place Mazda. Visit us online for your next Mazda SUV at woodhousemazda.com.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Spilled your milkshake? Quick, the quicker picker upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your milkshake.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Bounty, the quicker picker upper.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Does eating at home have you singing the blues? Stop by Cobb's at the Shadow Lake Town Center and coming soon to 180th and Center to grab a delicious pizza, fresh salad, and some tasty charred wings. They've just added 30 new menu items, including salmon, certified Angus beef fillets, ribeyes, and sirloins, plus several pasta dishes and an extensive variety of shareable appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Shadow Lake Town Center and coming soon to 180th and Center. Click cobbspizza.com to see the menu, pizza, and so much more.
The Lindley Clothing Summer Sale is on now. Save big time store-wide. Shorts and sports shirts, golf wear, casual slacks and accessories, and suits and sport coats. The Lindley Clothing Summer Sale. Lindley Clothing at Linden Market, 132nd just north of Dodge.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Josh Peterson, Steve Sipple, Nick Grimm on this One Beer Friday. Let us know what you are drinking as the weekend arrives. A hot weekend.
It's going to be hot.
Oh, dude.
It's a hot one.
Right now it's 91.
Like 7 inches from the midday sun.
Yeah, this weekend I'm okay, people forget I run. I'm going out tomorrow. I think I'm going to leave at 5:30 a.m. because the low is 74 degrees tomorrow.
Okay.
Before the sun rises. And so I want to try to get out like 45 minutes before the sun comes up.
Good idea.
Yeah. And it's going to be cloudy, thankfully, but yeah, not looking forward to
You ever run into dog problems?
Rarely. Like if I see a dog that I can tell is being like going to be a pain in the ass on the leash, I kind of just like walk around.
I've had some interesting when I was running,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think I ever ran quite as seriously as you, but pretty close. I mean, I was routinely running 50 miles a week.
Oh, that's very serious.
Yeah. I mean, 12-mile long runs in a week and never fewer than 5. But I had some dog issues.
Yeah.
There was one time I was running down First Avenue in Lincoln and it was a German Shepherd on a leash, but he broke off the leash. Now listen what happened.
Oh.
He came charging at me. A German Shepherd comes charging at me just by just a stroke of luck, the grace of God. A cop is driving by at the very time and sees this all happening and gets out of his car, stops in the middle of the street, gets out of his car and deflects the situation.
Jeez.
Okay. Another time I'm running pit bull without, okay. When you see pit bull without, what do you call it?
Leash?
Yeah. Leash.
Dumbing around like a collar.
Pit bull, no collar, foaming at the mouth. Chased me up on a woman's porch. I'm shirtless because it's summer, and I knock on her door. She calls the police.
Because you're probably like,
I'm bound because that dog is on down on the, he's up on the steps, but he's not coming up so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pounding on that thing, and the cop comes and goes, "Come, Simple, what's going on?" I said, "Well, there was a pit bull here.
It was a foaming at the mouth."
Yeah,
I almost ran into a deer last week. That wasn't very fun. It stared at me, and I'm like, I'm not going to stop running. And thankfully, it just turned around.
Where was that?
I think up at Zarinsky.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't a good time. And
was it a buck or a deer?
I don't know. Probably
Did it have horns or
no horns?
Okay,
and then
probably a doe.
So the first Saturday,
it's probably not a threat.
Okay, well I don't know.
No, probably not.
What if it's an idiot just runs and tackles me?
Deers are weird.
They're very weird. They run into cars for no reason.
You drive at them, they'll stop and they'll look at you. Apparently, you run at them, they'll stop and they'll look at you.
I hate deer. They're so stupid. One other time this year, I ran. They're dumb. I went out at 5 before the sun rose because it was going to be such a hot day and I had to do cultural series stuff. And I go out there. And I mean, it's dark. I'm running and there's trees everywhere and sun literally not up. And suddenly I hear this noise and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm about to get murdered. And then this deer just comes running out.
Really?
And my runs are all focused on heart rate for the most part. So whatever my pace is, it's based on my heart rate. And my heart rate suddenly was like way jacked up.
I think you got to watch for coyotes right now.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Guys, this is true. We had coyote.
Wow.
We live in the middle of town. Wyuka. We live by Wyuka Cemetery in Lincoln.
R.I.P.
It's the middle of town. We had coyote problems in our neighborhood in the middle of town. Big, mangy coyote in our yard.
Maybe that's a Lincoln thing.
Killed our cat.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, Norman.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Killed our cat.
Yeah,
I heard it.
Nasty.
Well, cool. I can't wait to go for my run tomorrow. This is great.
Back home.
Watch for coyotes.
Back home, there's a coyote or a few coyotes who like to have their pups in the fields. Around
Sure, and you hear that, don't you?
I grew up hearing them all the time. We lost a Chihuahua.
Did you?
Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
defending the family from the coyotes.
One more tweet before we get into
Jorge
the
was his name.
existential
Jorge.
season.
So little dog.
Oh, Applehead Chihuahua.
Yeah, little dog.
Snaggletooth.
Mr. Rick asks, Josh, can you ask Sip how to have a sports talk show take over an FM station? Thanks. Yeah, you got any tips on how we can take 1019 from Nick's grasp and have
They're trying to take it away from me, Sip. They don't like what I do.
Well, you'd still be on it.
I don't have any tips.
No tips. All right, let's get into the season.
Yeah, I love this.
You
are amazing.
I do what I can.
What you got?
John emails into the Equitable Bank inbox. He says, I'm loading both barrels to agree with you about this season being miserable, but hopefully shortly after October 1st, we will all have something new to be looking forward to that will lessen the misery, which I think is honestly a good jumping off point for how I'm feeling about this season. See, I've been ruminating on this idea for a few weeks. You got a question on Tuesday. You guys do a chat on 3 every Tuesday. And you got a question, and I'm going to give credit to the message board poster, and so I'm going to read his username once it loads. All Huskers asked you, if we lose to Northwestern first game, how do you see the season going after that? Also, if we win against Northwestern, how do you see it going? Now, real quick aside, you didn't even answer the latter part, which kind of made me laugh. Because I think we can maybe tackle that at some point. What happens if they win? Things could be good. But here was your response. You said a loss would be a code red situation because it would get intensely negative around the state. No question in my mind that the negativity seeps into the program. How couldn't it? It would be difficult to convince me that sort of scenario could be helpful in any way. Which reminded me again, I think this season, remember those both seasons. You remember the latter ones, probably after maybe the Wisconsin loss in 2011, or certainly after the Big Ten championship loss in 2012. 2013 and 2014 were pretty stressful seasons where I think by those points, fans, I think, had kind of decided where they were at on Bo. And I'd say we can put the media, we could put administrators, athletic directors, certainly in the same boat as well. I would say the entirety of the Mike Riley era was kind of the same way, where there were folks on one side, there were folks on the other, and you were really going to have something either cataclysmic or like a 11-1 run to maybe get some people to kind of change their perspectives.
Great summation.
Okay. So I look at this season, and you have talked about it. We have talked about it. Probably going to be a season in the gray area. I don't think that they're going 11-1, and I don't think they're going 1-11. So barring some kind of real good run or just a complete dumpster fire where they're not just losing a lot of games, but they're probably getting blown out, I don't think that this season is going to change many people's opinions on the future of the program.
Let's define gray. I think 9 gets you out of gray.
Yeah, I think so. 9, I definitely think you're out of gray. And for the most part, I think 8 does too, but depending on who they win and lose.
And on the other side, I think that 5 gets you out of gray. Or
I don't
4
know.
for sure.
4 for sure.
Okay, 4 and 8 get you out of the gray.
Yeah. So you're talking like 5 and 7 to mostly 8 and 4. You're
Yeah.
looking at scenarios where people, if you're saying he's the right guy, I think you can talk yourself into it. And if you're saying he's not the right guy, I still think a lot of people would need some convincing, even after 8 and 4, but definitely after a 7 and 5. Just if they win or lose versus certain teams.
I think,
right?
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know. Does this go against what you just said? I think 6 and 6, you still have 50% of the fan base on Frost's side.
Probably, if not more. How much
Yeah.
did you say? 60% or 50%?
50.
I'd say definitely higher than that.
Okay, 6
Yeah.
and 6.
I think so.
See, 6 and 6 is a horrible development for Trev Alberts.
Yes, by far.
Because-
It's honestly, I would make an argument that is the worst season they could have for him.
Because any move he makes is going to be met with 50% of the fan base are so angry.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
mean,
never good.
No, it's not good. It's not good because, okay, you bring
For
him
good,
back.
obvious reason.
You bring him back, and a lot of people are really happy, and a lot of people are like, wow, this is where you have this is now what your expectation is. You fire him, and I've said it before, he would have to explain to the Frost faction, like, why you fired a guy who finally got to a bowl game in year 5. Like, it's just not a good situation for all parties.
No, it's not. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah. So
and it's not so people understand it's sometimes they don't, it's hard for them in July to project to our conversations that you'll be having on the radio in December.
Yeah.
But tell me they don't get real heated.
Oh, dude, I said this to a lot of people last year off the air that it was I was the most miserable personally during last season than I've ever been before.
Yeah.
It was stressful.
Right.
And part of that was on decisions that I was making in terms of how I was allocating my time after work, where I would go home and I just kind of scroll and scroll. I got into doom scrolling with this program, and it was bad on me. It was bad on my mental health. Because I just put a lot into the show. I put a lot into it. I put a lot into what we were
hard
doing.
to hear that.
Well, you do what you can, and I'm not going to do that this year.
No, but it's your profession, and it's your
Yeah.
life, and you have to immerse yourself in it. And I do the same thing, and it can be miserable.
Yeah, and I'm not asking for anyone. I don't need anyone's apologies
No,
or
I know.
don't feel bad for me.
No.
But last year going out on the limb like I did,
You
early,
did.
I caught a lot for it.
I bet
and I
you
still
did.
do,
Yeah.
and it's fine. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
This is,
You
this
did
is the
go
job.
out early.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You have a job and an opinion, and that you went. And you know what? You weren't like you can't say you were wrong.
No, I mean, I still feel like I was right.
Right. I
even
can't.
though,
I mean, 3 and 9. I can't sit here and say, "Oh, you were way off."
Yeah.
Right? No, you weren't.
And so now I look at this season, and so that's all my preamble to say. Like this program, there's a lot of confirmation bias, right? So no matter what's going to happen this year, I think if you're on one side, you're going to be like, see. And then if you're on the other side, you're going to say, see, barring again, 10-2, 9-3, 11-1, or 4-8 or worse. And so I think a lot of people right now, and look at matches, in matches where we're at as a country, but I think a lot of people are angry. And I don't think, it just doesn't seem like any good play is going to be met with like excitement. It's going to be like, see? And then any bad play is going to be like,
I
see?
see what you're
it's
saying.
It's just like, man,
Oh,
we're going to do that, aren't we? Like, it's going to be that way.
Hold on.
And I just
now.
don't know if we have kind of grappled with the fact that this season is probably
Hold
going to
on.
suck.
Hold on. No. There's maybe ways out of this.
Okay.
I'm going to try to come up with a few. I don't know. I think you're not taking into account pure excitement for maybe emerging star players. Now I'm thinking,
not. You're right. That's true.
Okay. Take like what could be fun and take you out of that. See, they're doing well. Type discussion would be this. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
What if they finally have a pass rush, which I think they're going to?
Like if Mathis turns into a dude.
And well, they got Mathis. They have Garrett Nelson. They have Caleb Tanner. They have
They're getting
Jamari
pressure.
Butler.
They're causing turnover.
Yeah, and
wreaking havoc.
Yeah, and you're seeing those guys swooping into the backfield. O'Shawn, big O'Shawn. I mean, he's a prototypical pass rusher, long, lean, and he's swooping into the backfield. And Garrett Nelson, the Nebraska-bred kid, is having a big year. That's exciting.
Very.
And that would be something that people would, even the naysayers would be excited. Like, look at them. Look at Nebraska's pass rush. And then hopefully they're stopping to run a little bit too. But I think this team is going to have a pass rush.
Yeah.
What if, okay, I heard a coach the other day at Nebraska say that he thinks Anthony Grant's a one and done like type guy. He's a he's a not one and done because he's a junior college transfer. Just
because he's going to the pros.
1 year in the program guy because he's why is like what are you talking about? Well, I think he's going to be an NFL back. What if he's that? What if he's 1,600 yards like
that would be awesome. That'd be so cool.
Wouldn't that sort of thing?
Well, if you have a 1,600-yard running back, they're going to a bowl game. I mean, they're like probably a good team,
but
right?
wouldn't that stop the naysayers from their spiel?
Maybe.
I think that there's something to be said for individual player rising, stars rising, guys becoming all Big Ten type players, and that would be exciting, and that would work against. Oh, this isn't any fun, right?
I think so, because what you're describing is almost it's not just winning games, but they're winning games in a fun way.
Yeah, exactly. Pass rush is fun.
Yeah,
having a good running game is fun.
Yeah, because it's funny whenever we discuss the season, and we're even like they go 7-5, we're almost describing it in this way where it's like an ugly 7-5, or it's not.
Well, it wouldn't be very good,
and it's probably because that's the thing,
schedule,
right? It's hard to be a good team at 7-5. You're just kind of a team. You
especially
go to a
with
bowl.
this schedule.
Yeah,
what are we saying?
That's the thing. See, that's a great point, man.
What I always say is if they go 6-6, and the wins are, I mean, I've been saying this a lot. If they go 6-6 and the wins are Northwestern, sub 500 team last year, North Dakota, sub 500 team last year, Georgia Southern, sub 500 team last year, Indiana, sub 500 team last year, Rutgers, sub 500 team last year, Illinois, sub 500 team last year. That's
think of
six.
those. Yeah,
that's six.
Yeah, that's
what's that?
Yeah, what do you? Yeah, and that's when Trev, if he decided to make a move, that's when you.
That's what he'd say.
So he had to explain, like, look, these teams aren't very good.
Right.
Drew asks, Equitable Bank Inbox, he says, how's 5-7 in year 5 with no bullet gray area with this schedule? Do you really think there are a decent amount of fans that would want him back?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There are.
Look, Drew, I think that is a silly opinion to have, but those fans are absolutely.
I don't think it's silly from this standpoint. If you go 7-5,
Dude, no, come on, you can't say 5-7. He said 5-7.
Oh, 5-7.
Yeah, not 7-5.
Silly.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think those
I'm
fans
sorry,
would still
I
exist.
missed. I'm sorry, I missed.
Yeah, no, you're good.
5-7. No,
I think
you
a
can't
lot of
bring
those
it
people,
back
because at that point you're just talking about people who just want Frost because they like the idea of Scott Frost succeeding. And they're just holding out any hope, even though there's no evidence.
What I would say to that is 5-7. I'm not sure Frost would feel like he deserves to be back. I mean, I know Frost well enough. He's very competitive. If they go 5-7 in his 5th year and his record then is 20-36, I think Scott himself would say, I don't think I deserve to be back.
You think he'd resign?
I don't know if he'd resign. I don't know if that.
I mean, Trev would.
I think he'd understand heavy criticism.
Yeah.
And wouldn't be able to know and would understand he can't say much. That's not what he wanted. 20-36 in year 5. That's not what Scott Frost envisioned in any way.
Yeah.
I mean, he would say, I'm sure he would say, yeah, we're not living up to expectations at all at this point. I don't know if he'd say that right now. But I bet if he went 5-7, he'd say that. That's why I don't mind saying that. I don't mind being heavily critical because the head coach himself, I think, would be very critical of himself.
If somebody wouldn't be, it'd almost be like, what, are you blind? Like, what are you watching? If you're not going to look at this, at that record, especially. I mean, I'd say that now, though. I mean, 15-29 after 4 years, 12-20 after 3 years.
I think the conversation you will poo-poo.
Or will I PP it?
And I would say, no, there's something to it. And this, I know we will butt heads on this. It's fine. What I would be uncomfortable with, and a lot of fans would be uncomfortable with, is this notion we're moving on now to something again like is this going to be another Mike Riley where we just bring in somebody?
We go to bowl games? Just kidding. Keep
going. I just mean
away from Nebraska?
Yeah.
But isn't it like time to kind of move on?
Oh, God.
I know you don't like it, but at this point, it's like you've tried everything.
We went to this route where it doesn't, it's hard for me to verbalize this, where you have the Nebraska uniform, but nothing else about it says this is Nebraska of no connection at all to what it used to be.
But come on, man. Like Bob Vandy was from Wyoming. Like, you can start stuff. You said it. You were on with John Schrader recently, and you brought up Alabama and Nick Saban. Like, Saban's not a Bama guy.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's hard to make that transition in your mind.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
But if this guy can't do it, then it's time. In my opinion, it's time. It's time to try something else.
Yeah.
It's time.
I mean, I understand it. I understand that. I think
It's
that's
a great
hard
topic.
for people.
It's a great
though.
discussion. Oh yeah,
Why?
they're holding on to that idea
Right.
so hard right now.
Right.
They want it to be true.
Yeah, but your topic is beautiful because, okay, you describe it as it could be miserable. I use the word weighty. This season feels very heavy, very weighty. They kind of all are, and especially Bo's 2013-14 seasons were weighty.
Yeah.
It just felt like everything was heavy every Saturday.
Yep. And every day. Every piece of news that comes out.
Yeah.
We think about it, the Chuba quote comes out and it's like, here we go again. Like everything.
What's he mean by that?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's where the program's at right now.
Yeah.
It's like,
it is.
Not to make it too like weird, but like they're fighting for their soul. Like that people still love and hold on to. Like that. It's almost like that's what the season is.
Heavy.
Yeah, it is. 402-951-1620. Let's go to the phones. Talk to Chris Basnet in a few minutes. Joseph is up first. Joseph, you're in the zone.
Gentlemen, I am so glad to speak to you.
Thank you, Joe.
I kind of bleed Nebraska, I think. And last season was a real pain, real hurt. So many times. Well, right now, I just want Nebraska to be good and get to a bowl game before I die. I don't think I have much longer.
Okay.
Do you think this year they could do it?
Yes. Yes, Joe.
Oh,
They
God,
definitely
I hope
could.
so.
They should, Joe.
All right. Well,
They should.
I don't really know who the stars are this year. I was really I thought Adrian Martinez was a conundrum, I mean, sometimes he was great, and sometimes he did the dumbest thing. Just don't know. Yeah, let's find out what he does at Kansas State. Okay.
Okay.
And as for us, I don't know who this new guy is, but they say he's pretty good. I
Casey
hope he fits
Thompson?
this new offense. What?
Casey Thompson, the quarterback?
Yeah, or Chubby, whatever his name is. Chubba.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Joseph, for the call.
Can you imagine?
Look.
Thank you, Joe. Can you imagine? Thank you, Joe. I think they're going to a bowl. Could you imagine?
That was a very sad, depressing call.
Can you imagine how weighty this discussion would be right now if Adrian Martinez were still a quarterback?
Oh,
here?
God. I almost don't want to imagine that. Yeah, because it would be even.
There'd be a lot of resignation.
Yeah. Well, I know I wouldn't, I'm not going to pick him to go above 500, but I would feel even more confident if he was still back, because I thought by the end of his career, he was what he was. Really good and then really bad, really good, really bad.
It just wouldn't, it would have been a hard thing for the fan base, for much of the fan base had Adrian returned. There'd be a lot of resignation.
Yeah. And I think that's the one part that even if you are, totally like me, just like this was a silly decision to bring Frost back, at least there is intrigue because of all the new pieces, new coaches, new players. Does that mean it's going to work? I don't know, but at least they're not trying to run it back again, which I think is good.
No, they're not. And I think they have good players. I mean, not overwhelming talent at all. Not overwhelming. I mean, I was saying today, well, Jake on my show, Jake Sorensen at our show asked what positions are above average. Just real quick, I just do it like this. I think running back position could be above average, but you can't say it's above average. I think tight end would have been above average if Fedoni were playing and you had Vokalek and Fedoni. So no above average position groups on offense. Outside linebackers above average on defense. That's it. I have one position group where I would say is above average.
Wow. So really the question is, and I heard somebody ask this week, I don't remember who it was.
Maybe Buschini too. If you say punter,
if he's going to be
Buschini
good.
was the best punter in FCS. There's no reason he can't be one of the best punters.
It's
in
the same
FCS.
football, right? Like kick the football.
10-foot basket.
Yeah, I think it might have been Schaefer this week who was like, can they get by with just having a lot of good players, but maybe no great players? Can you go to a bowl game with a lot of good guys, but maybe not a great guy?
Can't Garrett Nelson become a great player?
Yeah, perhaps he can.
Can't O'Shawn Mathis be a great player? Is there anybody else in there? I mean, I would say Quentin Newsom could be a great corner.
Well, you mentioned one of the running backs, maybe.
Yeah, Grant could be a great running back.
Yeah.
They in the program, they really like him. I think they have some potentially great players.
Text from Ryan. to 402-951-1620. Is there anything dumber in the world than the idea that we need a Nebraska guy? I like this Zip guy, but come on. I mean, like, hello.
Yeah, I'm not full bore into that.
Just mostly bore.
I mean, I was always big on the idea of a program like having a personality that's readily identifiable, like Wisconsin, like Iowa. I like that. I've always been, I think most fans would be attracted to that.
Well, it helps like kind of cross over the generations.
Yeah, Nebraska had that for a long time.
Yeah.
The idea of just running a team out there that has the Nebraska uniform on, but just like every other team, and just this guy we plucked from somewhere. I just don't find that to be particularly appealing. Now, if they win, it's appealing.
Sure. That's what I was going to say, because they're doing it the way that you like it, and they're under 500.
I know.
So it's like
it feels like part of you at least.
Yeah, but see, in this, I mean, and we got to go to break, but this is when we always circle back to that idea of wanting to lose with a guy because you like the style of what he represents versus wanting to win with an unknown or outsider.
But what's wrong? I mean, what's wrong saying it feels a part of you?
Yeah.
There's a lot of olds like me. This is an older generation conversation.
Oh, I know.
And that Frost represents something that we knew really well. And if you move on,
a comfortable sweater.
Yeah, you've removed that.
Yeah, but the sweater has a lot of holes in it right now.
It doesn't look that good when you go out.
Does not look that good when you go out. All right, we're gonna pick this up. Talk to Baz. We'll pick this up afterwards. Got a lot of calls. Julian, Kurt, Mark, you can stay there. We'll get to your calls later. If not, you can hang up and give us a call back again at 402-951-1620. But when we return, speaking of someone you know, comfortability, a sweater.
Oh my God,
Chris Basnett.
Yes.
Well, maybe socks. With sandals.
Yes.
Chris Basnett's going to join us when we return. It is Unsportsmanlike Conduct on this One Beer Friday. Let us know what you are drinking here on 1620 The Zone. Hey, everyone. Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. You know, one Steve Sipple showed up today, had some truck issues. Thankfully, we figured out what it was. But I could tell immediately he was walking in. He has that car manually. He's flipping through it, trying to figure out what's going on. But that thing was so close to his face because he couldn't figure out what the logo was. And why was that? He forgot his readers today. Well, I implore SIP and I implore you, if you have vision problems, maybe readers are a new addition into your life, you're incredibly frustrated, give them a call today at 402-558-2211 or hit up their website, kuglervision.com. Figure out which of their 7 different procedures are going to work best for you. Maybe you're like me. You have the quote-unquote regular glasses to sharpen that vision. You're ready to ditch those for good. Awesome. Perhaps you're like Sipple. You have the readers. You want to get rid of those. Something that we all need as we age are readers. They can fix that too. 7 different procedures. Find out more information and schedule that consultation today. KuglerVision.com or give them a call at 402-558-2211.
Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny and hot for your Friday afternoon with a heat advisory in effect until 8 p.m. for southeast Nebraska, southwest Iowa, northwest Missouri. Expect a high in Omaha near 98, but feeling closer to 104 degrees later on. Increasing clouds later this evening with lows dropping back into the mid-70s. Meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
Let me get you up to speed on the service that you need.
Katie was recently told by a competitor that her transmission needed to be replaced. She thought the cost seemed a little too high, so she called us. We towed it from that shop and verified the transmission was in fact bad. We did the job and saved her over $1,500. Sometimes a second opinion can save you a lot of money. Don't overpay. Call Omaha Transmission.
Omaha Transmission, shifting to running smooth.
The Lindley Clothing Summer Sale is on now. Save big time store-wide. Shorts and sports shirts, golf wear, casual slacks and accessories, and suits and sport coats. The Lindley Clothing Summer Sale. Lindley Clothing at Linden Market, 132nd just north of Dodge.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Sharp. When you want to go local to an event, Sit in the front row? You want to go national and have the best seats? Where do you go? I go to ticketsforless.com. They always have the best selection with the best prices. You can score great deals online at ticketsforless.com and no service fees at checkout. You want to go to the College World Series. You want to go to Lincoln to a football game. You want to go to an away football game. You want to go to the Orpheum. You want to go to Arrowhead to see the Chiefs play. Ticketsforless.com has your seats. Score great deals today. It's easy, it's fast, and no service fees at checkout. Ticketsforless.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. You'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Gonna let that hang out there and just dangle.
The 1620. The Zone.
Chris Basnett joining us from the Lincoln Journal-Star, HuskerExtra.com.
Have you ever had a show that you love to join, held them close to your heart like a commemorative coin? Let me tell you a story of my situation. I used to join the best show in the U.S. nation, but all of a sudden, some youngin' came to be and stole all my thunder at 1620. This golf sure is a dope he wouldn't hesitate to lend. The boys at Unsportsmanlike Conduct told me he was just a friend. You got what I need.
He's just such a natural.
But you say Chris is just a friend. But you say Chris is just a friend. Oh, baby, you.
I think the sky's the limit.
You got what I need.
I don't know if you learn a lot of these things.
But you say Chris is just a friend. You say Chris is just a friend.
It was perfectly boring.
Man, that open hits just a little bit harder today.
Yeah, it does.
When one Stephen M. Sipple is sitting to my left as we welcome on his former colleague at the Lincoln Journal-Star. It is Chris Basnett, HuskerExtra.com. Baz, he's to my left. Do you have anything you want to say to the old man?
Come on.
Former colleague, now sworn professional enemy.
Yeah, bite me.
Oh, I will.
Hello, Baz. Hello, Baz.
I've gone to jail once. I'll do it again.
Nice.
I'm not afraid to beat up an old man, an elderly man.
Yeah, exactly.
Barely hanging on to life.
A senior citizen, grab his cane from him and hit him in his face.
I'd be doing you a favor, Seth.
Yeah, it's true. Then he wouldn't have to live in the world anymore. How fun would that be?
That'd be great. It'd be better for everybody.
What's the thing, Baz, that you miss?
What's wrong with you?
What, no, nothing's wrong with Baz. He's a perfect human being. Baz, what do you miss the most? What do you miss the least? Most importantly about Steve Sipple.
Let's not talk. Why would you ask him that question?
That's the first question I'd written down. Hello.
I miss everything about Sip. I'm going to be honest. I love that guy, and we joke around. I do love Sip. I told him that he's like a big brother. So I miss everything about hanging around.
Oh, we had fun, Baz. I mean, I hope people understand.
Talked about flowers on the interstate.
We had I would say We had an incredible amount of fun at times.
Yeah, probably too much fun
Yeah.
at times. It's like it interfered with our work at some points, probably.
Speaking of our work, he is Chris Basnet of the Lincoln Journal-Star. Bass, has the offseason gone by too fast? It's like, I can't believe that we're a week and a half away from Big Ten Media Days, and there's been a flurry of commitments. Of course, there were all the coaching changes. It seems like we got 2 weeks off.
Yeah, it seems like there's less time off every year, right? Like, and especially now with, the NIL stuff, transfer portal stuff, recruiting's year round, the conference happenings, just everything. It's just everything. And it's year round now. So yeah, I mean, it feels like it goes by a little quicker every year, maybe even a little quicker this year, just because we all kind of know what's coming this fall as far as what the stakes are for Scott Frost and this staff and this team. So yeah, it's kind of crazy that, we're opening up camp here with Big Ten Media Days and then practice in less than 2 weeks.
Is this, me and Joshua were talking about this. I'm just going to ask you a loaded question.
Nice.
And just see what you think. Does this feel like a weighty season? Weighty? Maybe a season where it's going to be a lot of tension?
Oh yeah. I don't think there's any doubt about that, Sip. And again, we all know why, right? Like there's the universally agreed upon metrics that everybody will be trying to parse and figure out. And we already know how much, every win and loss is dissected down to the single grain of sand around here anyway. And now you're talking about a year where Scott Frost has to get it right. And every game is magnified even more somehow. Every play is magnified. Every decision is magnified. So yeah, there's the weight of the season. I don't think is going to be like anything we've seen around here for a while, to tell you the truth, just because of who the coach is, his history in the state, what the future of the program might be going forward with what I mentioned earlier with conference realignment and things like that. It's incredibly weighty, and it's going to be, I think, even weightier as the season goes on.
Chris Basnet joining us. Yeah, along those lines, Baz, we were just talking about something along those lines where it seems like to me, and maybe I'm just super pessimistic, but like this year is going to be more stressful and I think more miserable on everybody, players, coaches, fans,
my God,
media.
Josh.
I'm serious, man. Like last year, Baz, you remember it? Like last year sucked. Like not just the record, but nobody was having a good time. Everyone was arguing, and it just seems like we're about to do that again.
I think a lot of it, and I said this last year, I think so much of it goes to that first game, right? And think about the importance we put on the first game last year at Illinois, and then look what happened. And my God, if that happens again this year, I mean, it's all bets are off as to what might happen. Now, Nebraska goes out to Ireland and wins that game handily and looks pretty good. Maybe that changes things a little bit. But yeah, it reaches a point, I think, for a lot of people where it isn't a lot of fun. Certainly last year was like that, I think, for a lot of people, just because of the lack of success, of the same mistakes, of the way the games were lost, those sorts of, and then all the ancillary stuff around that, the noise around the program and everything else. So yeah, it can get to a point, certainly. And I think that ties into the weightiness of it, like Sip was talking about. That weight, it bears down on everybody. It's certainly, obviously, mostly on the coaches, the players, the people in the program. But yeah, the fan base, the people who follow the program, and the university. It's an incredible amount of pressure for this program to be under, and it's something they're just going to have to deal with all season.
Okay. All right. Now here's the deal. If you're Baz, Josh, Nick,
Sip.
if there's a guy driving,
here we go. The outsider driving through from Albuquerque.
Yeah, if there's a guy driving through from Albuquerque listening to this right now,
thank you for listening.
Is all he could probably be thinking is this is not healthy.
Is it Walter White?
No, that's exactly what he's thinking. I never said it was good. I never said it was healthy. I just think that's what it is.
Yeah,
like, it's not healthy, and that's part of the weight, right? Like it's an unhealthy obsession with the program, and we talk about the passion and everything else, and that's true. That's accurate. There is great passion here, and there's no arguing that. But it can get to a point when it is unhealthy, especially when it's going bad, because it's like anything else in life. When things are going good, that pressure becomes good. It becomes that pressure to keep succeeding. When it's going bad, it becomes weight. It becomes something that's holding you down and holding you back. And and affecting feelings, affecting moods. And that's kind of weird to say, I guess, talking about it's at the end of the day, it's college football. It's not life or death, but man, you're right. If somebody's just driving through from Albuquerque, thanks for listening. But it kind of seemed like, man, it just sounds like this is the worst possible thing to have to experience in the world.
It does. This is sports talk radio. I mean, this shouldn't feel this way. Josh, I
agree.
I agree. Baz, can't even a rough season be sort of fun?
No.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it can in a way.
Can't it?
Not in year 5 with Frost, though.
You still have games on Saturday that can be fun to go to.
Tailgating is a good time.
Right,
Yeah,
Baz?
look, no, the games are the thing, right? The games are the fun part, and that's the fun part for the team, the coaches, the players. It's the fun part for the media. It's the fun part for the fans, and it's because of those things. It's the tailgating, the atmosphere, the stadium, the sound of the crowd, and you forget about some of that ancillary stuff until the first bad thing happens, and then it maybe starts to creep back in a little bit. But yeah, college football at the end of the day is fun, and it should be fun. It's college sports. Sports should be fun, but this is the world we live in now, right? Like there's real pressure when you're talking the amount of money we're talking, when you're talking about all the other stuff associated with college athletics that we talk about. Like it's just different. The game, there's a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun to be had covering football, watching football, playing football, all this stuff. And like I say, if it's going good, then it's a lot easier to have fun. But if it's not, and it's a pivotal year, and it's year 5 under Scott Frost, it gets maybe a little tougher to enjoy that from time to time.
Yeah, along those lines, Baz, I want to go back to the very first game for Mike Riley. And I went to that game as a fan. I tailgated, had a great time in the morning and the early afternoon. Nebraska has a comeback. The stadium was electric, and then they lose on a Hail Mary. And so it's like all of the good feelings that you have from whatever time you wake up until 5 seconds are left in the game. It's like, this is why we watch and love this sport. But in the end, you win and you lose. And in that scenario, they lost. And so all the good feelings kind of went away. And it's like, well, this sucks. So that's football.
It's a deal where, and I'm not going to dive real deep into the human psyche here, but that's human nature, right? It's easier to feel bad about something than it is to feel good about something. And think about even when Nebraska was going good, rolling, and winning national titles and winning 9-10 games a year. And think about, stuff was still getting picked apart then. To the same extent, no, of course it wasn't, because Nebraska was winning, and that makes it easier. But still, that's just how humans are as a species. It's easier to find the negative. It's easier to complain about stuff. It's easy to make things hard, I guess is maybe the best way to say it. And it's unfortunate that's like that, but I just think that's the way it is. And so that we as humans you deal with that and you try and make the best of the situation you can.
Joined by Chris Basden of the Lincoln Journal-Star. Chris, how in your opinion does Adrian Martinez impact this discussion either way? What if let's put it this way, Baz, what if Adrian Martinez were still the quarterback here? How would that impact the discussion we're having now?
I think it impacts it a lot. And I think it impacts it because, of course, he's not here. So it's a fresh start at that position. Right. And it's kind of an unknown. We're not really sure what it's going to look like with whoever the starting quarterback is, whether it's Casey Thompson or Logan Smothers or Chuba Purdy, whoever it ends up being. It's going to be different. The offense is going to look different. Things are going to look different. Now, if he's still here, I think it almost adds more weight.
Yes.
Right. Because he's a known quantity. We know what Adrian Martinez is, and there's weight on him to have a great year. There's weight on Scott Frost to put him in position to have a great year. There's weight on him to kind of carry the team. And look, the record is what the record is. And Adrian Martinez was the quarterback for a lot of those games. So I think I don't mean to make this sound like a knock on Adrian Martinez, but my gosh, we're talking about it being a weighty issue right now. Imagine if Adrian was still here.
Exactly.
And he would handle it with great class and maturity, as he always does. But man, it would be a totally different discussion.
Chris Basnet of the Lincoln Journal-Star, our Friday friend. Baz, before we let you go, did you think coming into maybe yesterday that this could be it for Tiger? Because speaking of weighty, it seemed like, wow, this might be it. But judging his quotes today, it sounds like he'll be back, perhaps just never at St. Andrews again.
Yeah, I think when he chunked one into the water to start yesterday, you kind of went, oh boy, it might be a rough couple of days. But man, I think watching the walk today and watching even him, watching the most unflappable guy ever get emotional, I think that there's some weight to that. Certainly, I think you realize the end's probably not here yet, but the end's close. And you're talking about a guy that's, as a golfer, was probably the most famous athlete in the world for a while, which is insane to think about for a guy that played golf. So yeah, there's absolutely some weight associated with that, and then what it looks like going forward.
Well, Baz, we hope you have a great weekend. Had an awesome discussion. Oh, by the way, you wearing the socks with the sandals? Yeah, you're not an old man. That's a young, hip thing. So congratulations to you.
Yeah, I'm cooler than I thought. I didn't realize I was so in tune with the young kids, so that makes me feel a little better.
Yeah.
How old are you, Baz?
I'm 42.
42. So yeah,
Checking towards 43.
Yeah, you're right in that kind of weird zone. I mean,
the weird zone.
Well, Sip, you know as well as anybody, I've been in the weird zone for about the last 30 years.
Have you been hitting that Casey's Pizza?
I've been backing off the Casey's Pizza. You left, and my eating habits improved dramatically somehow.
That's good.
Really? Have they really dramatically?
No, not dramatically. I'm kind of lying when I say that, but I'm not eating as much Casey's Pizza.
Okay.
Sorry, Casey.
He was eating Casey's pizzas all the time.
It was gross.
No, it wasn't. It was fine. I love
get some of that breakfast off. Baz, we enjoyed the conversation. Have a awesome weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, fellas. Talk to you soon.
Chris Basnett joining us. That was fun. It was like the podcast again, getting to hear you two joke around.
He's hilarious.
He's a very funny person.
He is. Oh my God. Him and Parker, like in a car together, driving back from somewhere like Norman.
Parker.
Holy God. It was tiring just for all the laughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
Your
guys.
gut. It was a good workout.
Yeah, those guys are super funny.
Yeah.
Super funny.
We got some responses that we can get to from our last topic, the weightiness, and we can pick that up again when we roll on.
Josh.
Sip.
We have to be careful here. Oh
Nice.
God, I didn't say
Nice.
it. Yeah.
Nice.
This is sort of unhealthy, what we're doing. I understand where you're coming from. I think you're being a little dark here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I roll.
You smiled when I said that.
Hard to lie.
I think you're being a
I'm
little
glass half empty.
I think you're going a little into the darkness too far. It still could be fun. This can be fun.
Hey, I got other games to watch on Saturdays. I'm going to have a great time. The
But
NFL will still be here.
The scenario you described of going home and doing the kind of the
I'm not doing the doom scrolling this year.
doom scrolling.
That's not happening this year. Reading the mentions all night.
I mean,
long.
I will say this: the type of seasons that wear me out are this season. I'll tell you this season, the column, when I write a Sunday column, and it's either this: Sipple, you're way too hard on Frost, or Sipple, you're way too easy on Frost. That's the kind of season we're heading into.
Yes, we are.
Every Sunday is going to be that.
Also, the people who say you're too hard on Frost, I would love to meet them and say, what is wrong with you?
Oh, I get it.
Sipple is too hard on
I get
Frost.
it. I got it
I
last
don't
year.
think maybe are they reading a Dirt column that accidentally has your name at the
No,
top?
I was
Are they
getting it.
listening to my show?
I was getting it last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened to you, Sipple?
I can't imagine what they think of me. All right, we'll come back. When we return, let's get to our screwball of the day, and then we'll pick back up this conversation moving on into the 4 o'clock hour. It is a One Beer Friday. By the way, no Kent Walgamont this week. He's on vacation, so Kent will join us next week. We'll get to our screwball of the day. Also, clarity on Thomas Fedoni, and I'm going to trigger Steve Sipple with a question that I ask about him. Mark, stay right there. We'll get to your call as well as we roll on this Friday. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, 1620 The Zone.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Woodhouse Mazda and Woodhouse Place Mazda are the Omaha Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers, conveniently located in Bellevue or in Millard off 144th and Giles Road. You can shop, finance, and buy your next Mazda SUV or sedan your way. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you to your next vehicle, and our full service department is there for you when your vehicle needs maintenance. Visit us at woodhousemazda.com or woodhouseplacemazda.com to learn more.
Mom, Zoe said she wants to go to Funflex.
Your infant sister told you this?
Uh-huh. She wants to splash in the water.
Yeah.
And ride the go-kart, play on Makana Splash, and go down the Rocket Rapids.
What?
And went to Cabana. We can spend the day.
She said all this, huh?
Uh-huh. Zoe also said we should invite my friend Caleb. It would be really fun for me. Zoe.
Right.
It's all for fun and fun for all at Funplex. 70th and Q, dude. Get your tickets now at fun-plex.com.
When it comes to the service industry, it's customer service that sets the great ones apart. And for over 50 years, McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning has been about always on time or you don't pay a dime. And that's not just about keeping their appointments. That's also about the commitment to customer service, like making sure that all of their technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, and certified. It's also about having the right kind of commitment to treating your problem as if it was their own problem. And it's about providing great services such as McCarthy's 1 Hour Comfort Club, where you can get discounts on repairs, you can get put to the front of the line when problems go wrong, and a twice annual inspection of your heating and AC to make sure everything works when that time comes, when things get hot or things get really cold. Visit McCarthy's1hour.com and find out about the commitment to customer service. McCarthy's, always on time or you don't pay a dime. McCarthy's1hour.com.
Hey friends, Kent Pavelka here, back with John Higgins and the Rooferees at the Weather Guard showroom. A lot of people will, I had some bids here and just got to go with this guy.
We always ask the customer, did you get the referrals on those companies? Do your homework and check how long they've been in business. We try to stay really competitive. Doesn't matter if it's a Da Vinci wood shingle, asphalt shingle, vinyl siding, or hardy siding.
Just go with somebody who has the track record, right?
Right.
There's only one call to make. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Question 5. Lucas and Carla have 3 homework assignments each. Lucas does his online at home, but Carla has no internet at home. If Carla has to travel 5 miles to find Wi-Fi at a noisy diner or a grocery store parking lot, how can she ever be expected to do well in school?
This is not a problem kids should have to solve. Cox Connect to Compete, providing affordable internet to lower-income students. Available to new residential Cox Internet customers who meet eligibility criteria. Other restrictions apply.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Screwball of the Day.
It is time for the Screwball of the Day, brought to you by Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Sip, I don't think you've been in here yet for a Screwball. We have a great time because we talk about someone that's being screwy. Today, we're talking about a car company.
Okay.
You remember car companies? We got some more tweets to get to, by the way, about your vehicle. Some pretty funny ones. But Nick sent this to me earlier today. This is from CNN Business. BMW. You know BMW?
Yeah.
Big Beamer guy?
They're offering heated seats for their vehicles.
Okay.
On a monthly subscription.
Oh, God.
Right?
Really?
This is where society is going?
All the tech is right there, but they lock you out of it unless you pay the subscription.
It's 10 euros a month or 10 British pounds a month, which is about $12 for us. So you'd have to spend $12 for the old heated seat option.
Yeah, you know what? I'm out on heated seats under most any circumstances. Trixie's big on them. She has them in her Volkswagen Wolfsburg edition. And she swears by them, and I don't give a damn about them. I don't really. I never like
even like a really chilly day. Your buns are a little chilly.
No, I don't. I get the whole deal why it's appealing, but it just seems like something that's extraneous to me. Extraneous. That's not necessary.
Wow.
I'm a minimalist generally.
Yeah, you're old,
and that sort of falls under that. Like I don't know.
How do you feel about cooled seats?
For sure, no.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Oh man, see, but I got the swamp.
I forget
going.
Cool seats are a thing.
Oh yeah. That'd be.
They're not a thing, Nick. They're not.
I would do a lot.
They're certainly not a thing in where you're from.
Iowa, small town,
Iowa.
No, hey, let's go down to the creek.
A lot of rich farmers. Like to spend a lot on big trucks
with all those subsidies.
If you have nothing else,
the city trucks are the ones that have all the options. The going out trucks.
So yeah, if you do not opt into this program and you don't make your payment, they will turn off the heated seats.
Oh, that's
here's the thing
that's dystopian.
Here's the it is. Here's the thing that I don't like. It's like that they know exactly where your car is. Like that's the part that I'm like, I don't like that.
That's trouble.
Like cars becoming more computerized. It's like you can't even go anywhere without someone knowing where you're at.
I'm not sure you can buy a car without a cell phone because OnStar and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like when I bought this, when me and Trix went to get this truck, so we purchased it and the guy said, okay, I need your cell phone. And I was like, why? He goes, well, we can't get it going without your cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
And my thought immediately is, what if I didn't have a cell phone? No sale?
What is this?
Right. Yeah.
They'd buy you a burner.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So that is the screwball of the day brought to you by...
I need a burner. Go ahead, sir.
No, you're good. Brought to you by Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. The original peanut butter whiskey now available near you. Speaking of vehicles.
That's an interesting thing you just said.
I don't like it. Yeah. Thank you to Nick for finding that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Nick.
very dystopian. Eric tweets in, JTech Instructions on Twitter feed. We're trying to figure out what that signal meant in your car. Now, we figured it out, but more funny responses. Eric says it alerts him that his Applebee's meal is ready for pickup. It pops on, bing, bong.
Why would it ride funny if that was the case?
That's true.
Because it's trying to drive itself to the nearest
That's
Applebee's
true.
and you're
Turn left,
driving
turn left.
against it.
Turn left.
Is that what it's doing?
Patrick says that's his truck telling him to swerve to avoid criticizing Frost. Stop, you're getting close to criticizing. No!
Oh, Frosty, I'm sorry, Frosty. All right, go ahead.
Curtis says, I have a feeling Sipple has no AC or furnace in his house, just a wood-burning fireplace and a box fan. Hashtag minimalist. Is this true?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
So you will enjoy the finer things in life, just
To a
not the
certain
finest
extent.
things in life.
To a certain extent.
Yeah.
But I'd say minimalist.
I don't think I could have survived back in the olden times without the AC.
Just cut wood. Oh, without the AC.
AC, you can make an
Just
argument.
get a giant leaf. Fan yourself.
That sounds terrible.
They did that in Egypt.
My car, the AC, I need to get the, what's the thing I need filled?
Freon.
Yeah, I need that filled back up. My drives to work, I get so sweaty.
I'm very impressed with Nick today.
You can fill it up yourself. They make kits.
Yeah,
it's like a $20 buy.
I got to get my
Quick
oil
fix.
changed soon. I'll just ask them to do it.
Also,
I'm not
a
trying
quick
that.
fix. I can't do it because my apartment won't let me do it. It's an environmental thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to try to fix my car because then I'll make it worse.
I'm very
I've already paid it off. It's nice. I already paid it off.
Hey, nice. Good job.
Yeah, do what I can. Let's go back to the phones. Mark chiming in right now, 402-951-1620, and we're going to re-pick up the conversation. I imagine that Mark would like to give his 2 cents about. Mark, what's going on?
You mentioned I'm still here. I have tremendous patience at this age. You learn that.
Nice.
You guys are worth waiting for. Excellent show this afternoon.
Well, thank you, Mark.
I got to give you an old guy's perspective. I felt for the gentleman that called in earlier was just hoping to see something good happen before he passes on. It's sad that it's come to this. I mean, I've lived. And look, first of all, a couple things, and I'm going to get back to Frost. And there's several things. You can be a fanatical fan, but also look at things realistically. You can look at things without rose-colored glasses on. I'll just preface this by saying I've talked to you guys before. I'm a Dodger freak.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Mark.
I remember you, Mark. Yeah, I remember you.
Yeah, but I also look at them realistically. There's holes there. There's issues. They're not the greatest team of all time. Depth is saving them, so on and so forth. Same thing can happen when you look at the situation with the Huskers. It's been a mess since Steve Peterson took over. We can trace it back to there.
Yep.
Everything collapsed from that moment on.
Yes.
Then you had the Callahan years and so on and so forth. As far as Scott Frost goes, think about this, guys. We talk about, can somebody be successful? Does it have to be somebody from our program? You can name one coach that's been in a program for a long time in our era that was an ex-player, and that's Mike Gundy. After that, there isn't one. It doesn't happen very often. Think about that. You've seen him in the past, but in this current generation of coaches, not many of them are ones that played where they're at. That's not a requirement. If it happens to work out that the guy is great and works out, wonderful. But look, I yearn for the years where poor Bob Devaney had 2 6-4 years back, and they thought it was the end of the world. Wouldn't we love 6-4 right now? Our topic would be, how will we come to this, where this type of mediocrity, and I will ask your gentleman from Lincoln the same things I would ask Sip, what other program in the country would tolerate this scenario that we're in now and put bonuses on, and you can stretch it beyond football to your 2 biggest sports, have two coaches that are basically done an inept job and got extensions that are incredible and locked them in. That starts with the administration. You think the pressure's on Frost. The pressure should be on Trev Alvers. He's made a life-changing decision this year. Either they win or he's not only back to the drawing board, he has nowhere to go but down at that point. All I'm asking before I pass away is I'd like to have the perception of Nebraska get somewhere back to where there's some respect on a national level. Because right now we are expecting far too less and going to be happy with it. It's really kind of sad.
Mark, thank you for the call, man, at 402-951.
That's the reality-based discussion.
Yep. Did it hit you a little harder since he's not of my age range, a youth? Where
No.
he can talk about the olden times, but he's also like, I want them to be good.
No, it doesn't hit. I mean, I understand the gravity of the situation.
Yeah.
And there's, like I said, the theme of our show.
Heavy.
Yeah. Weighty.
Yeah.
As far as, okay, so Mark referred to Oklahoma State and Mike Gundy. Yeah. Mike Gundy was a quarterback at Oklahoma State, and he's had success, a lot of success at Oklahoma State.
Won the conference.
Yeah. They've been a consistent 8, 9, 10 win team.
They've been on the doorstep of a national championship game, and then last year the playoff a couple times in his career.
Okay, and then Mike uses that to refer to that conversation we were having about if you lose Frost, you lose connection to the program. I'm not just talking about a name and a name who played for it. I'm talking about a style of play, a way of doing things. It goes much beyond just having a guy who used to play here. To me, it's as much about style of play as that. Where Nebraska used to be this sort of ground-based team that matched our culture. We're a ground-based agricultural state. And it felt right that way.
Mm-hmm.
And it did. It felt like it was sort of part of our DNA that we should have a football team that plays that style like Iowa, like Wisconsin.
Like Wisconsin.
Yeah, like Barry Alvarez took to Wisconsin. It does. It feels like, I mean, I know it's almost become a cliche conversation, but I'm not just talking about Scott Frost being a former quarterback, Mark. I'm talking about a way of life almost.
Here, let's put a pin
And
in
that's what you always diminish that. And I'm always surprised by that. It might just be an age thing.
No, here, I want to unpack that a little bit more because we're up against the clock. We got a couple callers there that we can get to. Got some more responses as well, including this one from Chris. You and Sip, good stuff today. I'm so out of the loop these days, but I'm entertained.
Oh, thank you.
Well, we got 2 hours and 10 minutes left. We're gonna continue to try to entertain. I don't poo-poo it, but I understand what you're saying.
You pee-pee it.
I pee-pee it. Try to unpack that a little bit more. Looks like a caller wants to push back on you. We got a lot of. It's gonna be. It's a great show. More to come, including a preview of Michigan as well. Anthony Broom will join us at the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour, and it's almost a One Beer Friday for us. More to come. 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio. This is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. Currently, all the earlier wrecks have been cleaned up. Getting reports, though, of some delays if you're north on 90th between Blondo and Maple. Same goes if you're north on 144th between 370 and I-80. And then roadwork still has the right lane closed on the northbound JFK, causing delays around L Street. And then if you're south on the JFK, slow going from Q Street to Childs Road. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Methodist Health System.
When envisioning what kind of future is possible, the challenges never stop. And neither do we. Methodist, the meaning of care.
Email Sharpen Betting on the Equitable Bank inbox with whatever's on your mind. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can get me at Gary at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Hi, guys. It's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, We'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
I wanted to quit for so long, but I didn't know where to start.
I was afraid of what people would think, but then I found the right support to start my recovery journey. 1 in 14 Americans reports experiencing a substance use disorder, a treatable medical condition. Treatment can take many forms, so there are a variety of options to explore and find the one that works best for you. Recovery from drug addiction is possible.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Josh Peterson, Steve Sipple on this One Beer Friday. Got a few tweets so far from the folks with what they are drinking, but you can send them to us right now at USC1620 on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. I tried to be good and pick out a beer that Sipple would like. So we'll have those in about an hour. I'm ready. It's the weekend.
In my defense, Sip, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
In my defense, I'm not used to having to turn on the microphone anymore. I'm sorry, Sip.
Yeah, because I'm supposed to turn it on?
No, it's
the
my
professionals do.
It's my fault for not being a good producer. I'm sorry, Sip.
Wait a second. Do I got a button over here?
You do. It's the one that says on.
Oh, I got it from now on. I got it. Hey, Nick, I got it from
So now
on.
if it doesn't turn on, it's his fault.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
fine.
fun too.
That's amazing. I just expect everything to be done for me.
You really do.
I'm a
Give
little
me
bit that way. Yeah, I'm a little
headphones.
bit that way. I am a little bit that way.
Oh, we know.
I'm sorry for not being good enough producer, Sip.
We forgive
who
you, Nick.
said that? All I've done is praise you today.
That's true.
I do
a little too
appreciate
much
that.
praising, I would say. Tip
No,
down
let's,
on the praise.
Let's keep doing it.
Tip down on the
Josh
praise.
never give me this kind of praise.
I give you praise. I say you're doing a good job. You just got to, if you want the praise, you got to do a good job, Nick.
Well.
A couple of responses. Joel says they don't have to have a head coach that's a Nebraska guy, but they have to be a good fit. Riley and Callahan have their strengths, but Nebraska wasn't an environment where they could succeed.
That's a great point. I mean, Bob Devaney was a great fit. Good fit. I don't know. I don't want to get into speculation on replacing the current coach too far. I don't want to go down that road too far. But like Chris Kleiman would be a fit.
Yeah. Matt Campbell.
Lance Leipold.
Yeah.
Lance Leipold used to work right down the street.
Yes, he did.
I mean,
Not too
right
far
down
away. Like
the
I'm,
street.
what is that? 58th?
Yeah.
60th? Not even a
Around
mile
there.
away from us.
All right. UNO.
Yeah.
So that's a good point, by the way.
Mhm.
A lot of it does come down to fit.
See, but it's funny because one of the things that you said in the last segment was you were describing a style of play. Frost isn't doing that.
I know. You're
So
right.
it's-
He's not. I don't think. I don't think. They
I don't
will
think
this
he
year.
is.
I don't think they will this year.
I don't watch
either.
Nebraska. Exactly. I don't watch Nebraska and I'm like, oh, that reminds me of the Osborne days. Like, forget the winning and the
No,
losing.
you're right.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point. That's
Yeah.
valid.
Like, there's this thing about him. Like, he just has this pull on people where they talk about him like he does do all of the things that people want him to do, but he doesn't do any of those things. And again, like, remove the winning from the equation. Like, I thought it was interesting. You were on Monday with John and Ravi, and John gave you that stat, the Whipple, like he's never had a year. And you seemed like, holy crap, like they might throw the ball more than they run the ball this year. And like, I can tell like that doesn't hurt you, but it just, there seems to be so much disappointment of like, it wasn't supposed to go this way. It wasn't supposed to look like this. And I think sometimes a lot of us hold on hope that like it can eventually look that way, even if the evidence is entirely to the contrary, if that makes sense.
It does. I don't know. Come on now. What you're getting down to in style of play discussions is very subjective. Doesn't really matter that much what you desire. What matters is if what you're doing produces W's and it looks like good football too.
Yeah.
I mean, does it look like good football? I want to see something that looks like good football. Was I disappointed with John's stat, which was a tremendous stat, the best stat of the week I heard, that Whipple never has had an offense, never has had an offense that ran the ball more than 50% of the time?
Correct.
Yeah, that I was taken aback by that. And I hope that this is an anomaly, and I hope it's because their running back room is as good as I think, and the offensive line
comes along like you think it can,
especially as a run blocking unit.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe this is the year in his career, Mark Whipple's career, where it's 57-43, something like 57% run, 43% pass, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that up? Yeah.
Let's go. We're not a math show, folks. Let's go to the phones. Welcome Brooke in, who, as I mentioned, going into break, wanted to push back on
fine.
SIP. Hello, Brooke.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Brooke, good
Doing
afternoon. Well. Good afternoon.
Hey, so yeah, going into that last segment, Sipple, I would respectfully push back on what you're talking about. That I think how Nebraska looks and how they play is like 4 or 5 steps up from where the program is now, to where it's let's just have competent adults making decisions and play calls so that we are, God forbid that we can even win. And then once that starts happening, then we can start talking about, well, okay, how do we want it to look?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because, we're coming off a 3-9 season and we're talking about, the schedule and everything. And I get uncomfortable about that because other than North Dakota and Georgia Southern, there's no team on our schedule that we can even consistently beat. So it's almost like we got to clear a couple more steps before we start talking about how something looks. Let's just, like I said, be competent.
Okay. That makes
sense. And the
sense.
other thing I was going to point out too is that, and I think you kind of walked back on it a little bit, but the whole thing about, having a connection to Nebraska, if a change was made, or, you would want somebody with like Nebraska ties, how interesting that is, because if Nebraska is successful this year, what did they bring in? Like 18 transfer portal guys?
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially, if Nebraska is successful, this team is essentially a mercenary team with no Nebraska ties. So it's kind of interesting, the dichotomy between the two there.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Brooke.
Okay. Run the ball. Why do people favor that? Why does that matter, Brooke? Why does it matter? Here's why it matters. Okay. This is why it matters. No, what?
I was just thinking like weather, this November weather.
That matters. But it's also about
imposing your will.
God, thank you. Yeah, that's what football is, right?
Yep.
That's what football is. I don't regard football as, okay, I'm going to outsmart this team. There's an element of that all the time. But no, it's more about imposing your will. I was talking to one of the one of the 90s players the other day, and it was interesting. Their preparation on offense wasn't taxing mentally back in the day in the 90s because they only ran 6 or 8 plays. They didn't have 88 pass concepts, which Mark Whipple's talked about the other day. 88 pass concepts for the quarterbacks to run.
Yeah.
We haven't got to them all. We only got to a couple of them because there's 88 of them. I mean, yeah. I mean, wasn't it kind of nice when they just when they would run
the
5
damn ball,
when they run 5 or 6 plays, and the lineman would run up to the line of scrimmage and tell the guy what we're doing, and they do it.
Yeah, pretty cool.
It's like Larry Bird used to do that.
Yeah.
Larry Bird used to tell.
I'm going to go here.
Yeah, I'm
And
going
then he went here.
to dribble 2 times to my right. I'm going to stop and step back and shoot over you. Then I'm going to run back down there, the court. Yeah. That's imposing your will. So to me, it matters what it looks like. It absolutely matters.
But
now,
again, they're not.
You can be a good passing team and still play good football too.
Of course you can.
Right.
Teams win throwing the ball.
Right. And you can be a tough-minded team, but you throw the balls. But we all know what good football looks like, and we just haven't seen enough of it.
No.
Style, regardless of style, we want to see good football.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody in their mind's eye knows what that looks like, especially in this fan base, which is we're a football rabid fan base. They know what good football is. And man, we have not seen nearly enough of it.
No.
Forget style. So I guess I agree with Brooke on that count. Forget style. How about just good football?
Mm-hmm.
Tony Finoti
Mm-hmm.
just announced as an inductee into the Nebraska Football Hall of Fame. Tony Finoti was a guard, an offensive guard. In his junior year, his last year in the program, was not flagged once and didn't allow a sack.
Mm-hmm.
Not flagged once, didn't allow a sack. He never was flagged. Now think about that. That's good football.
I'd say it's great football.
Yeah. And when they, I don't know, this is stats from the 95 team that offensive line, I don't know that they drew more than 4 flags all year.
Mm-hmm.
All year. That's good football.
Mm-hmm.
Just play good football.
But again, you're
Special
describing
teams is good football.
You're describing things that this program isn't.
I know.
And that they probably won't be. You know?
Well,
you're hoping
you
and
think
you're
they-
wishing and you're
yeah, I
praying,
think
but
they
they're
can.
not. Like, I don't see, like the funny thing about this whole discussion is like last year, forget whether or not you thought they were close or not, because we had that debate a million times, right? Oh, they only lost 8 of their 9 losses were by a score, and the only other one was by 9 points. I don't think a whole lot of that was good football. It was just that they were losing close.
Let's think about that.
I didn't feel like I was watching. Special teams was porous.
Yeah, that goes into the good football discussion.
Turnovers.
Special teams goes really, it is really important in the good, quote unquote, good football discussion.
Mm-hmm.
When a team is good on special teams and it's clearly well coached on special teams and the effort on special teams is all out, you think of that program in a different way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or that franchise in a different way.
Definitely.
If you see a football game, you turn on a football game, and you've done this, I do it, and you see on the opening kickoff that team blazing down the field, tackle the guy inside the 15 and get up whooping and hollering. What do you think? They came to play.
Yep.
And they're a tough-minded team.
I think being good at special teams is the sign of being a well-coached football team.
I do too.
Because it's
That's
like you
good
have
football.
to get into the nitty-gritty. It's like it's attention to detail. And look, too, for the most part, especially when you get into the pros, special teams is a group of backups.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a whole lot, for the most part, it's not a whole lot of starters. And so if you're getting that group to play at a high level,
You got
like,
it.
you
Okay.
figured out football.
CEOs will tell you if you're measuring an organization, like if you're a CEO of the string of gas and shops, you're going into gas and shop and you're looking, are they doing the minor things well?
Mm-hmm.
Are they, you're not necessarily looking for the obvious things. Or if we're going into, let's a better example is if you're going into a business, you're not necessarily judging the CEO as much as you might be judging the lower level employees and how they're performing.
Mhm.
And then you get a better idea of the culture of that organization or that business. Special teams is that. If the special teams are hitting on a high level, chances are the culture of that program or that franchise is strong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind the word culture, by the way. I don't look at that. I don't roll my eyes. I think culture is a big part of.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
I think people roll their eyes lately because like the culture is so bad and they just keep talking about
how it's getting better.
Yeah, I think
I do think it's getting better.
Well, we'll see about that. And see, and there's another discussion we had, and we're not enough time for it today, but about something that one of the earlier callers hit on. Have all these new guys, and some people can
all these new guys. Yeah,
you can describe them as mercenaries in a way, and it's like if the culture is poor, and then you have a bunch of new players and new coaches, and you know how I feel about name, image, likeness. But I do wonder if things start going sideways, how quickly people say, yeah, well, they're only in it for the paycheck. Does everything change really quickly? But I want to go back to special teams for a moment. I remember I was in the stands only for the first half, thank God, for the 2017 Ohio State game when they bludgeoned Nebraska, killed Nebraska. Ohio State killed Nebraska. Mike Riley's last year, night game. And if you know anything about an Urban Meyer team, beyond controversy, at the end of his career, it was great special teams.
Great special teams.
And I have always loved their kickoff because they do that thing where they move their hands back and forth, their arms back and forth.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they all run down together. And then they tackle the guy. And then they did the same thing the next time I was there at the stadium to watch them play Ohio State, 2019, game day. They kicked the ball off, and they did the same thing. They kept that in the Ryan Day era, and they went down the field, and Nebraska tried to return the kickoff. And they not only got tackled inside the 20, but they also had a holding penalty, and so suddenly they had the ball inside their own 10. And it's like Ohio State came to play. Now, look, they have way better players, but they came to play. They have good attention to detail, and now Nebraska is in a huge 90-yard hole.
You got it.
Immediately.
I mean,
never feel like I'm watching good special teams with Nebraska.
Ohio State asserted itself and set a tone with its special teams. Boy, that's a nice thing, isn't it?
It
if
is.
you can do that.
Yeah.
If you can do that.
Yeah, you want to talk about, not to just lament about the old days. You want to talk about a through line of those teams in the 90s and early 2000s. Really good special teams.
Yeah.
Blocking
special
punts,
teams. Like
returning kicks, returning punts.
These discussions are informative, and it's okay to go back to this. If Nebraska returned to kickoff in the 90s when they were on their big run, if they returned to kickoff that didn't get to the 20 or 25, it was sort of like it made you uncomfortable. Like, wow, is it something? Has something gone wrong?
What did they do wrong on that play?
Right.
Whereas now it's kind of old hat.
Right.
Yeah. If they have a good return, it's like, whoa.
It was the same
Let's throw
way.
a parade.
It was the same way with the offensive line when Nebraska was really rolling. People of like Mark and especially the older generation that's listening, if they had 2 consecutive flags on the offensive line, that was code red material.
Well, yeah, and then you think about that compared to last year in the Illinois game when they had 3 or 4 in a row.
Well,
or at least
Oklahoma
2,
to start the game.
Yeah,
Oklahoma to start the game on the first drive, they had 4.
Yeah,
4 different guys got flags.
God.
Yeah, that's not good football.
No, it is not. And that's why, again, going back to what I initially said, they were losing by a score, sure, but man, it never looked good. It never looked good.
Oh, now we gotta hold on.
I triggered you. I'm sorry.
No, I want to think about this. Don't go like Buffalo was disjointed. That win, Nebraska didn't look particularly good against Buffalo. Oklahoma, they played them close, but you're right.
We're just talking about it.
Michigan State
defense was awesome in the second half.
Yeah,
awesome.
Northwestern, they were good throughout that game.
They were definitely.
Northwestern, Michigan, they were pretty good throughout that game.
Yeah,
not the first half.
Yeah,
offensively,
offense found a really good rhythm in the second half.
So that wasn't bad. Minnesota disjointed.
Horrible.
Didn't play well. Purdue, geez.
Yeah, bad.
Bad Saturday.
Bad.
And I was very critical of Frost after that game. And that's where I got jumped on by people like,
I thought,
what are you doing, Sipple?
We went on bigger overreaction. I thought this is it.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that week. That was an uncomfortable week on your show.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. Ohio State, I thought Nebraska played okay. Wisconsin, they played good. They attacked Wisconsin.
Yeah, defense just wasn't there that day.
Right. Iowa, they attacked Wisconsin. No, Iowa, they attacked Iowa, and they just got
they melted down.
Yeah, they melted down.
Let's go back to the phones. Joe in Phoenix wanting to give his 2 cents on the conversation. Joe, what's going on?
Stephen M. Sipple, it is a pleasure once again to hear your voice radiate through the Omaha and over the stream. So not only can the people of Nebraska hear your wisdom, but also the people of the United States.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking
about. Even the world,
Thank
Joe.
You, Thanks, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing well. I don't get to listen as much anymore or call in because of the new job, but
okay.
Thursdays and Fridays are the days that I get to now for the most part, and I do the fine streaming that the wonderful producer Nick Grimm puts together every night for me, so that way I have something to listen to while I'm working out. And then, of course, Stephen, you do realize that you're sitting next to the Word of God there and Mr. Josh Peterson.
Yeah, the Word
He's
of
the
God.
only Nebraska media member who has been on the right side of this since about year 2 with Scott Frost, and came out last year and had the tenacity and the temerity to do what was right and inform and educate the state of Nebraska on why Scott Frost is the ultimate dumpster fire of a head coach.
Your words, not mine.
Now,
Gee, Joe.
now with that being said, I can't wait for October 1st because I feel by that point Nebraska will be 2-3. Maybe they might even be 1-4. Who knows? I find it laughable that we have 16 quote unquote mercenaries down there. And I always like to use the thought here. If they were so good to begin with, why did they leave the initial college they went to?
That's my first thought. And then the villainization of Adrian Martinez. We're replacing a guy who won 3 games last year with a guy who only won 4 games, and he's hurt all the time too, with a bad finger on his throwing hand, and he played in a weaker conference and only won 4 games. And yet they feel that this guy is the ultimate step up from Adrian, which I think is laughable, considering our offensive line is a walking sieve, and anyone can get through it. And then his perceived backup has a foot injury. So the 2 guys that we brought in to save the day at quarterback are both hurt. Isn't this typical Scott Frost? And then let's just assume for a second that Mark Whipple does work out. What's the man, 64 years old? So in order for Scott Frost to live up to his legacy of Tom Osborne and coach for 30 years, that means Whipple's going to have to hang around till his mid-90s. I mean, and then let's not even get into the defensive side. O'Shawn Mathis is apparently a pass rush guru. But the reason why he didn't go to the NFL last year is because he can't stop the run. And oh, by the way, what do they do in the Big Ten? They run the ball. And then let's just remember, everyone says we're close. How can a team be close if you lose 9 games? And this narrative that we lost all these one-score losses, keep in mind, we scored late against Illinois to turn into a one-score game.
Okay.
And I know Josh has the stats of the other games last year because I don't remember. But there was a couple other games where we scored late to make it a one-score
Minnesota
game.
and Purdue.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you very much. Word of God. See what I tell you? Boom, just
fair.
like that.
That's fair.
And you know, and so to think that even if they do win this year, and when you were saying 6 wins, if the 6 wins are the wins that you guys have talked about, that's not anywhere good enough in my mind in year 5 to keep his job. Not to mention, everyone assumes that this is an easier schedule. How can it be an easier schedule when the guy's got a losing record against the quote-unquote easy division? I mean, he can't even beat Northwestern, Illinois, Purdue, the teams that Nebraska should just be able to walk out on the field back in the day because they saw the Nebraska helmet and win those games. And then I love it how everyone says that but Minnesota or Wisconsin and Iowa are rivals. In order for them to be a rivalry, don't we have to win a game or 2 every now and then? I mean, hell, the last time we beat Wisconsin, I was in my 40s. The last time we beat Iowa, Nick was in high school. I mean, these are things that are, to sit here and think, and I get hammered on a daily basis on Twitter because they call me a fair weather fan and this and that. It's not that I'm a fair weather fan. I'm just tired of losing. And who would ever thought that we would miss the good old days of Mike Riley? I mean, we ran that guy out of town after 3 years and 19 wins. There's an idiot on Twitter that says that the COVID year was an exhibition year. And that was the year that Nebraska campaigned to play harder than anybody because they wanted to play football. And then when they did get to play, they got beat by Minnesota and Purdue and Illinois at home. That
was a train wreck.
This narrative that they brought Frost back for any other reason because of his coaching acumen is absolutely false. It was all because of the buyout.
Joe,
if he would have had a normal buyout, he would have been gone.
Joe, we got to go. We got to go, but we appreciate the phone call, man.
Josh, Steven, Nick, have a wonderful weekend.
You
boys.
too.
Thank you, man.
Talk to you next week.
Okay. Bye.
That's a great phone call. The quarterback discussion is interesting, isn't it? It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, Whipple said what had been a rumor for, a month about.
Well, now, I got to clarify something for you.
Was this recorded
in June?
Okay, that's what I thought too.
Okay, so we're talking about an interview,
but still, he was not throwing.
Right,
he wasn't throwing at some point in time.
There was a time. Yeah, well, no, he told me he took some time off after spring.
Yeah, because I went into my notes.
So now we're talking like everybody knows what we're talking about.
Yes.
So we got to clarify.
So I was told. I went in my notes.
We're talking about Casey Thompson.
I was told on June 18th. That he had not thrown since spring ball. That's what I was told on that day.
I believe that's not true.
Well, it's at least he wasn't throwing at some point in time.
Right.
He took a break. At some point in time.
He took a break after spring ball. I don't know exactly how long the break was, but he threw in June. I know that.
And that's why, if you somebody pointed out to us before we aired some of those clips the other day. Like he's talking and he mentions like it being June and like July is coming
June.
up.
Those interviews transpired in June.
That's what we figured.
We're talking about Sports Nightly.
Yeah. Whipple was on. He was quote unquote on Sports Nightly this week, but
they're going through coaches and they want them on camera.
Yeah, so it's not on the phone.
And the coaches are off in July. Yeah, so it's not on the phone.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was misleading. I think Casey Thompson's hand's okay, but Joe's points are. I mean, he makes points about he was 4-5.
Yeah,
and he was injured.
Yeah,
and he was in a worse league.
Yeah, I know how you talk about the Big 12.
Yeah,
and so I think about that a lot when I think about Casey Thompson.
Yeah,
a league where you're able to throw the ball around a lot. All right, we're past time for a break. Mike says bring back Bill Jennings. R.I.P. Yeah, R.I.P. There is I have a stat for you.
Okay.
I don't even know if I want to say it on the air. It's just so depressing.
No, I want to hear it.
Okay.
We have to face reality.
Well,
we're grown-ups.
We are grown-ups. All right, we'll face reality when we return. Also, we're going to talk Michigan football at the bottom of the hour. It's a One Beer Friday here on 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny and hot for your Friday afternoon with a heat advisory in effect until 8 p.m. for southeast Nebraska, southwest Iowa, northwest Missouri. Expect a high in Omaha near 98, but feeling closer to 104 degrees later on. Increasing clouds later this evening with lows dropping back into the mid-70s. Meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. Heads up, we've got a crash on West Center Road at 117th. Also, slow going on northbound 90th between Blondo and Maple. If you're headed north on 140th, some delays between 370 and I-80. And then the right lane still closed on the northbound JFK, causing delays around L Street. And then if you're south on the JFK, delays between Q Street and Childs Road. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Methodist Health System.
When envisioning what kind of future is possible, the challenges never stop. And neither do we. Methodist, the meaning of care.
Damon Bennett here for Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, the original peanut butter whiskey. Celebrate this baseball season with Screwball. A little sweet, a little salty, a little savory. It's unlike anything you've tasted before. It's the perfect celebration of the wild and wonderful in all of us. So to all you Screwballs out there, in honor of tomorrow's stories, let's raise a glass to you. Screwball, the original peanut butter whiskey, available near you. Enjoy responsibly. Screwball Spirits, LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
1620 The Zone, live and local, broadcasting 6A to 6P in the Host Coffee Zone studio. Host Coffee, offering office break room refreshment services to Omaha and Lincoln metro area businesses. Discover a better break room solution for your office at sales@hostcoffee.net.
Shingles add beauty, protection, and value to your home. You want CertainTeed shingles. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is a certified CertainTeed shingle master. When it comes to your roof, CertainTeed Shingles and Carps have you covered. Online at carpsomaha.com.
Things are a bit tight lately. That's why I love Kohl's. I went back to school shopping and got kids' clothes for under $6, sneakers for less than $20, and an extra 20% off already great deals, like 25% off backpacks. And get this, you can save more with a Kohl's card and earn Kohl's Cash. Talk about more style and more savings. Select styles, 20% off ends July 24th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Summer is here, and so is the heat. Our greenhouse and nursery sales area are always open and stocked all season long. You can relax knowing when you want it, we've got it. So visit us today. Lanahan Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory. Explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Hey, everyone. Josh Peterson here for Head.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Josh Peterson, Steve Sipple, Nick Grimm on this One Beer Friday. We just got a picture from Andy. There is a unicorn on it. I don't know what it is, but it looks good. I like the can. Nice can, Andy. Andy hanging out down in Arizona. We have a lot of Arizona listeners. We just heard from Joe in Phoenix.
It troubles me you like Andy's can.
It's a good can. You're not a can guy? Look at that can. If you saw
It's a
that
nice
beer,
can sip.
good can, a nice can.
You
in
don't
your
like
hand.
a good can sip?
We got an email into the Equitable Bank inbox from Troy in Phoenix. He says, just looking at next year's schedule on Huskers.com, I noticed they don't have the conference schedule up, only the 3 non-con games. Does the Big Ten always wait until the next year to announce the conference schedule, or could there be more changes coming with additional teams? Sip on a Friday is the best, and we need more Applebee's here in Phoenix. What an email. My guess, and if you have any information, feel free to share with us, Sip. I think they just pulled all the future conference schedules off because of some of the changes. You know what I do wonder about, though, too, is how much of this particular thing is that they're about to have a new television deal. And so maybe move some stuff around for Fox and ESPN and whoever else is.
Yeah, that's got to be announced soon.
All right. So I told you, and I forgot to pull up the exact stat, but I told you that I had a very, very sad statistic for you.
Sad.
Indeed. So Bill Jennings, in his time at Nebraska, the worst winning percentage that a Husker head coach has ever had. 15, 34, and 1 in his 5 seasons. That was a 31% winning percentage. Now, just being the sicko that I am, I thought to myself at some point this offseason, could Frost get worse than that in his time at Nebraska? And indeed he could. If they go 2-10 this year, he would have the worst winning percentage in the history of Nebraska football. So let's all make sure to root not for that, because that would be put that on his,
that's okay.
Coaching tombstone.
I think all that sort of discussion is just fine. I mean, this is where we're at. Let's just deal with it.
Indeed. Johnny texts in to 402-951-1620. The Scott Frost discussion is difficult. On one hand, I'm pissed about what the record has been. On the other hand, I know if we fire him, he'll be calling plays for Nick Saban the very next year. Lane Kiffin was the joke of college football at one point. Now everyone would take him.
I don't know what would happen with. I don't know how that.
I disagree with Johnny. I don't think I don't think he would go. I don't think he would do that. I could almost see him just kind of laying low, not coaching, going to somewhere warm,
watching a bunch of CWS games.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if he just left the state.
I don't have any insight into what he would do. I don't.
Amazing Daniel says Nebraska fans are a trip. On one hand, a transfer couldn't possibly be good if he wasn't shattering records at his old school. On the other, we are insane for not getting Burrow coming off 2 seasons with a total of 280 yards and 2 touchdown passes.
Great point.
Now, I will say,
Great
I
point.
do lean more in the Joe camp than I do in the Amazing Daniel camp on transfers, but this is not this year's transfer group, and this is not a Scott Frost or Nebraska thing. This is more of a most of the time transfers leave because they're not good enough at their old school and they want more playing time. Or at least that's kind of how it's always viewed on the surface. Occasionally you'll have like Justin Fields or Joe Burrow. Like, I think those guys are the exceptions to the rule. Whereas like last year, for example, Nebraska brought in Marquise Stepp, and it was like, oh, he's going to be the dude. And I was like, are we sure? He had like 500 yards one year at USC.
Okay, but Samari Toure, on the other hand?
See, now he was different. I was high on him because he was an FCS All-American. He had bona fides to his name. Whereas, I think O'Shawn Mathis is going to be good. I don't know if either of the other 2 defensive linemen are going to be good.
I think they have it just depends what you expect of them.
I don't look anymore. I don't go and say, whoa, that guy was a 5-star in high school. Awesome. Like I say, he was a 5-star in high school and then he barely played at his college. There's got to be a reason for that. And here's how I look at it. For the most part, when a player leaves Nebraska, Wandale is an exception to the rule. Wandale was good. He started. He had production. He just didn't like how he was being used. But a lot of other guys leave, and it's like, well, he didn't really do anything, And we saw a lot of the guys who bounced out this offseason who went to other schools were kind of like that. Didn't really contribute. And so that's just my worldview of college football. I have acknowledged I'm probably going to have to change that just given the portal and how many players are leaving now. I think the math of it all is going to say you're going to have more hits with transfers instead of fewer hits.
Yeah.
But I think Connor, he put together a list recently of all of the transfers in the Scott Frost era that have come in, and the total number who have been like major contributors, it's like 15.
Mm-hmm.
And like they brought in 15 guys, like they're going to need those guys, a lot of those guys to contribute. So convoluted perhaps, but that's just kind of how my worldview is on college football in general.
Yeah, I don't know where to go with that, Josh. The transfer. I mean, I'm not going to criticize anybody for going heavy in the transfer portal. That's the world.
Oh, I'm not going to criticize it. I just don't know if it's going to work. That's what I'm saying. You got to do it. You got to try.
Well, I will say, I mean, this right now, it looks like they brought in some players who could be very helpful. That's as far as I'll go. I just think they brought in some players who could be very helpful. They didn't, and they brought in some players who seemed to fit. They brought in, like, I'm talking about O'Shawn Mathis. I'm talking about Stephon Wynn. I'm talking about, well, no, Drew isn't here. Devin Drew is not here yet. And I don't think he'll be here for the start of camp.
I was going to say, you had this in tunnel talk.
Yeah,
today.
he will not be here for the start of camp.
Because he's still finishing up school?
Right. He's graduating at Texas Tech, and he still has some work to do. But he'll be here, I'd say, the first few days of August.
Okay.
So he'll miss a little camp.
What, like a week?
Maybe he might miss a week of camp. That's not the worst thing in the world. I think, but I think they fortified their defensive line through the portal. Good move.
To
Good
think
move.
about where the portal was when it kind of hit code red that week.
line.
Yeah. Remember that line? It hit code red that week. And it was like, oh, God, do they have any bodies?
After Casey Rogers departed.
And then it changed. But I'm not being critical of them attacking the portal. You have to attack the portal. I'm just not going to say, well, they got this guy from Alabama. Like JD says, didn't you get a former 5-star from Ohio State last year? They did in the secondary.
Tyreek Johnson.
Now I know there were, reports about, why he didn't play last year. And that things he couldn't control. But
here's the thing.
That's why I just don't go like, oh, he's a 5-star.
No.
He's going to be awesome.
No, you wonder about Tyreek Johnson because he doesn't play on special teams even.
Yeah.
So that, he's just not getting it done. Now they like him. He's a great kid. He's a valued part of the program. He's just not making an impact.
Yeah. Adam says, look at Michigan State last year. I think the transfer portal worked for them.
Right.
It did.
Right.
That's why I'm not going to have a hard and fast rule. It's just kind of my worldview, again, for the time being.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of programs are going to the portal. I mean,
yeah. Again, I think as more and more teams do, you kind of have to change your viewpoint.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to evolve it. I just kind of want to. This year, I think is going to be telling because the whole sport has kind of been upended with it, and so I think we're going to learn some stuff.
You know what helps me with it, with Nebraska situation, is at least Frost told us what was happening.
Yeah, he said it in November.
I think it was November.
It was after the Wisconsin game, right? It was sometime around there.
Sometime is one of his last press conferences of the season, and it struck me, what he was saying, and now it strikes me that he had a blueprint and followed through on it. We're going into the portal and we're going into the junior colleges to try to get this program over the top.
Mm-hmm.
So not only did they follow their blueprint, it appears they brought in some pieces that make sense. I mean, O'Shawn Mathis makes sense. Stephon Wynn makes sense. Devin Drew makes sense. In the back end, Omar Brown makes sense.
Definitely.
Certainly Tommy Hill makes sense. That all makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in some guys that can play.
Definitely.
So
will they? That's a question now.
Yeah. Now, can you, I mean, now coaching comes. I mean, come on, let's face it. If they don't win if they don't get to a bowl game, it won't be because they don't have that sort of talent.
Yeah. Speaking of a team that's had a lot of changes, Michigan. We'll talk about them next in Big Red Summer School. Shank Pig Appreciation Club says, loving this new show format where people just call in and yell at Sipple.
I love that too.
Yeah, J-Tech Construction wants to give you a summer solar. You could win a solar system for your home worth up to $10,000. It is their summer solar sweepstakes. All the details and enter to win right now at 1620thezone.com.
If you're tired of trading one dead-end job for another, trade your job for a career. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers has positions open right now. As an IBEW residential electrician, you'll get training, higher pay, paid health care, retirement, and up to a $1,000 sign-on bonus. Build a better life for you and your family. Make it happen. Call 402-810-0789 right now. That's 402-810-0789. Or get details at IBEW22.org.
Jake and Christine knew they needed help renovating their dream home. As a Pella advisor, I make sure every step of getting new windows and doors is smooth, including setting you up with our Pella Care Guarantee. It covers everything from product to installation with some of the strongest warranties in the industry.
Get more with Pella. Let us personalize an offer just for you. Visit PellaOmaha.com/radio for more details.
The Mazda lineup of SUVs will provide safety, performance, and capability on your journey ahead. From the 3-row Mazda CX-9 to the first ever Mazda CX-50, our sales team is ready to guide you to the SUV for your lifestyle. Shop the Omaha Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers at Woodhouse Mazda in Bellevue or Woodhouse Place Mazda. Visit us online for your next Mazda SUV at woodhousemazda.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
It is time for another edition of Big Red Summer School. Today we go to Ann Arbor, home of the 2021 Big Ten champions, the Michigan Wolverines, and we welcome in from On3.com, Anthony Broom, who covers the Wolverines. Anthony, thank you so much. We appreciate your time today.
Of course. Always love an opportunity to come on and talk ball during the summer.
Absolutely. So I read an interesting question surrounding the Michigan Wolverines today, kind of maybe encapsulating the Jim Harbaugh era to this point and looking into the future. And it was that, talking about 2021, was that as good as it gets, or can Michigan be even better? Do you think that maybe is the overarching question that surrounds Michigan football as they now move on into this era, as they got kind of some demons killed in 2021?
Yeah, I mean, the Grim Reaper slashed a lot of those demons for them last year. It was pretty remarkable, especially coming off the COVID season. So it was one of those things where you're like, wow, you have this epiphany, like, wow, okay, this is possible here. It's not just 10-2 or 10-3 is the ceiling, and losing the 3 toughest games on your schedule. You can be more than that. That was encouraging to see. Now, when we talk about is this as good as it gets in this era now, like things are different. Roster building is different. The transfer portal is obviously huge. NIL has been something that Michigan has not been a fast adopter to. I think they're kind of taking a slow burn approach to it, which I do think long term will probably work out for them. But this is last year. You had a lot of star power. You had obviously Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo and some of those other names, but it doesn't have to be a one-year wonder for them. When I look at this roster over the next 2 to 3 years, a lot of guys that are going to be playing in key roles this year, next year, and potentially even the year after, they saw some decent playing time last year. So that was, it was an experienced team in a lot of areas, but it also was a pretty young team in a lot of areas as well. So I think that it's a group that has a chance to get back, maybe even as soon as this year. But obviously, there's always that the behemoth south of the state line that you got to tend to. So we'll see what happens from there.
Joined by Anthony Broom of Michigan on 3. Anthony, before we go forward, I do want to go back, and I was struck by this game, Anthony, when Michigan played Georgia in the college football playoff semis. I was struck by it for obvious reasons. Georgia's dominance and how Georgia. Now, I like that Michigan team, Anthony. I did. I really enjoyed watching them obliterate Ohio State. I did. The way they did it, the way they took them apart was amazing. But then on the other hand, they got taken apart by Georgia. And what is the reaction? What was the reaction by the fan base? How do you think the team came out of that? What was the fans' how was the fans' psyche affected by a game where they just got dismantled?
I think in a lot, like, it was definitely sobering. I think in a lot of ways it was like a cold realization that, you know, you just had the best season that you've had in arguably 25 years, 24 years, whatever it was. And you get there and there's this next rung, or the next, really, when you look at a team like Georgia, that was a historically good defense. I think we'll be talking about that group for a long, long time when you look at all the pros that were up front on that team. There's still a lot of work to do. And that's where I think for Michigan, like there was this euphoria around beating Ohio State and winning the Big Ten championship, blowing out Iowa in the Big Ten championship. It was almost like a month of coasting. It was almost whatever happens. This has been a really good year. But then you come out and you get pummeled like that. And I mean, that wasn't fun to watch. That wasn't fun to cover. I'll tell you that. But I do think there were some people that are like, all right, listen, like, we got there. We had no business being there this past year. How do you build on that now? And I mean, it's a different level of athleticism. It's a different level of physicality. I mean, Michigan definitely didn't show up and play anything close to its best football that day, but I think they also got pummeled by a team that was just, it was angry. It was just physically so much better in a lot of areas. And it was, you were able to have your cake with the Big Ten title and getting back on track to expectations last year. But, it was the sobering reality. There's still a lot of work to go if you want to be what a lot of people think the potential for a school like Michigan to be is still there. So
previewing Michigan football in another edition of Big Red Summer School. So Anthony, looking ahead now to the 2022 season, I wonder what you think about the quarterback position. I thought that they did a good job of kind of balancing having two guys that had different skill sets on the field in 2021. Like what does that mean going into 2022? Could there be any quarterback controversy if one player outperforms the other, especially early on in the season?
Yeah, I mean, this is a battle that's going to go into the season, I think. And J.J. McCarthy, Caden McNamara, that's for me, I mean, Michigan's top storyline, and it's probably not really all that close. Maybe the edge rusher guy stepping into roles, vacated by Hutchinson and Ojabo would be there. But J.J. McCarthy didn't really participate a ton in spring football. He had a shoulder injury. He decided not to get surgery, so it was just kind of a rehab process. And he was on the field. He was in pads. He was holding for field goals and extra points. He was staying involved every bit that he could, but he didn't get the reps that you maybe would have liked him to get in the spring. So that was a setback for him. But I really do think if he's healthy and if he is able to find a way to take that freshman to sophomore leap, I mean, there's no question. And this is even a point of controversy in Michigan, the Michigan land is, if he can be what we think he can be, there's no question that the ceiling's much higher if he's your starting quarterback. But it comes with, you know what you have in a Caden McNamara. He's going to, he doesn't have an incredible arm, but he makes all the throws that are asked of him. He executes the offense. He leads scoring drives. He led them to a 12-2 season, wins over Ohio State, road wins at Wisconsin and Nebraska, Penn State, won you a Big Ten title. So that guy can get better too. I mean, it was only his first year as a full-time starting quarterback. So I don't know if I think the coaching staff has done a really good job of keeping it from being a controversy, but I really do think, and this is not based on any intel, it's just my read on the situation. I think if J.J. McCarthy is going to see the field, they want him to take that job from Caden McNamara. It's not going to be given to him. So they know what they have in Cade. They've got a really talented guy in JJ, and then who knows, maybe late somewhere in the season, if Cade, you're just not hitting that extra gear, maybe you get a Alex Smith handing off to Colin Kaepernick type situation. But I don't know if I'm ready to call it a controversy yet, but it is heated, and those guys are respectful of one another, but there is no love lost there. That is for sure.
Let's go to that second storyline that you mentioned, the losses of Hutchinson and Ojabo. Defense loses. I think they lose 6 starters, including those 2 guys, edge rushers. Is it inevitable that it takes a step back, or is that pushing it too far?
Yeah, that's a great question, because you're not just going to replace 25 sacks off of a defense with 2 guys. Maybe you can. That would be awesome for Michigan. I mean, if they just have these 2 guys that they need to replace, and you plug and play, and that solves a lot of your problems. But I think when I look at this roster, now the pass rush is a question, and I think that you're probably going to see more of an interior pass rush from them. I think it's going to be a shared burden. You know, they're not going to put it on the 2 edge guys to be the next Aiden Hutchinson or the next David Ojabo. I really do think it's going to be a group effort in that regard. I think we'll probably see them be a little more aggressive, bringing blitzes from the second and third level of the defense. I think that in their back 7, I think they are younger and more athletic, so that could help them hold up in coverage a little bit longer. It's when you look at it, naturally there will be a step back because of the guys that you lose. But when we look at what the expectations were going into last year, coming off the COVID season, and then what they are going into this year, I think this defense has less question marks than last year's defense had going into the season. No one thought that Aiden Hutchinson would be the number 2 pick in the draft. No one thought that David Ojabo would be, a top 10 talent before he tears his Achilles at the pro day. So I feel weirdly at ease about the roster on that side of the ball, given what they lost, because I think that the scheme is more or less going to be the same. Now you lose the play caller and Mike McDonald. That'll be interesting to watch. I mean, that man earned every penny last year. So we'll see if Jesse Minter can replicate that. But I really do think from top to bottom, and especially depth-wise, I think they're maybe a little bit stronger as a group in that area, but we'll see who the stars wind up being.
Joined by Anthony Broom of Michigan on 3. Anthony, it'd be hard for you to understand Nebraska's situation, but in Nebraska, with Nebraska football, we're having a very weighty, heavy conversation. It had to be that way for Michigan going into last year, right? It was potentially unpleasant, right? Going into last year, coming off a bad season, a lot of discussion about Harbaugh and his
contract
stuff. So what allowed them to break through early and kind of show the fan base, all right, maybe we're on to something here? Was it as simple as beating Wisconsin so badly? And was that game 5? Yeah, game 5.
Yeah.
Was that it?
When I look back and pull apart that season, I think maybe we started to sort of feel that there was something different about this group in week 2. They played a night game against Washington. The same day that Ohio State lost to Oregon. So it was kind of like the vibes are already in the community because Ohio State had lost. They looked vulnerable. And then Michigan comes out and, just kind of wallops a team that, to be frank, a lot of people picked Washington to beat Michigan last year. So that was eye-opening. Certainly, I mean, even a couple weeks after that, I mean, Michigan almost got popped by Rutgers at home, and people were super concerned about that.
Yeah.
You come back and beat Wisconsin on the road. You beat Nebraska on the road. I think what it was, and what the biggest thing that turned the tide for them, is that there was so much fresh blood on the coaching staff. I think, when you have a year that was, I mean, to be frank, 2020 was toxic. I mean, when you have a year that was that toxic and that stinky, you just have to sort of almost do an enema. And then what happens from there is when the guys, you have guys that walk out of the program, transfers, what have you. It was guys like Hutchinson and Cade McNamara and Son Haskins who, it was player driven. I mean, you could put the guys in the situations all you want, but those players stepped up and said, you know what, we're done with this. The last couple of years ended terribly. You got blown out against Ohio State twice. Then you had the COVID year. I think that senior class just kind of got sick of it. And to their credit, I mean, I know that this is an era where teams are being built with NIL and the transfer portal and all that. This was a team that was built. It was almost like the last of a dying breed of a team that just kind of internalized its goals and found a way to get the job done. I was really impressed with their mental wherewithal throughout the season. And I think that was the biggest thing, that it was a player-led change in that regard.
Anthony Broom of On3.com. Anthony, great conversation, man. Hope to talk to you again down the road.
Of course. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Anthony joining us here on Unsportsmanlike.
See, think about what we're talking about with Michigan coming off a 2020 season that was bad, and then the pandemic year was bad. It was
horrible season.
It was Michigan had its own very weighty conversation going into last season.
They cut Harbaugh's salary. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but if I remember right, they basically cut it in half. So where Frost went from 5 to 4, Harbaugh was like 9 to 4.5.
His buyout went to $4 million.
Yeah,
it was $4 million.
They changed everything.
Yeah, his buyout was down to $4 million.
Yeah.
What was Fred's, by the way?
Like what was 18, 19?
Yeah, it was 18. Fred Hoiberg had
Lord.
an $18 million buyout. Harbaugh had a $4 million buyout.
Yeah.
Okay, weighty conversation.
Yep.
But
Another
right.
former player played under Schembechler. Like a lot of the stuff that we've said about Frost, they were saying about Harbaugh. That, of course, we know Harbaugh had better seasons. Like all that stuff aside, but very, very kind of similar in that way. And then they break through, and they don't just break through. I mean, they win the league for the first time. They win their first outright league title in how long? Almost 20 years. They go to their first ever college football playoff. They win their first Big Ten championship game. You asked a question earlier. They got bludgeoned by Georgia. So they show how far they still have to go, but they got past a lot of the demons that they had.
Yeah, and Anthony mentioned those two big wins. Washington was big when they walloped
Night game.
Washington. I don't know if I compare that to like if Nebraska were to beat Oklahoma. I think
I'd say it'd be bigger for Nebraska, to be honest.
Really?
I think so. Because Oklahoma, I think, is a more respected, better program right now than Washington.
Well, think about if Nebraska were to wallop Oklahoma.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. Wallop.
Well, if they beat them like 31-10.
Yeah, it'd shift some conversations.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their schedule pretty interesting, by the way. Horrible non-con. They got Colorado State, Hawaii, and UConn, so they should take care of business. Maryland. A tricky road game, of course, at Kinnick on October 1st, Saturday, October 1st. Always a tough game there. On the road at Indiana, Penn State. They got Michigan State in Ann Arbor this year. They got Nebraska in Ann Arbor this year. And then the big game, they are at Ohio State this season as Ohio State tries to get revenge for last year. So Wisconsin comes up on Monday. We're almost done already with Summer School, Iowa on Tuesday. So those teams next week.
Michigan will win 10. The big question is, can they get Ohio State again?
Yeah.
They'll win 10.
Yeah.
They're a 10-win team.
Yeah. That's my favorite college football game every year is Ohio State, Michigan. But man, I feel like this year, especially if both teams are good, that could be a whole lot of fun because Ohio State will be out for blood after last year, and Michigan maybe a chance to say, this is our division now. So should be interesting. Should be interesting.
Just a little.
When we return, it is time for the happy hour, which means we're going to crack some cold ones. Always a good time. I hope that I didn't let you down. That's what we'll see about that. Clarity on Thomas Fidone. That's nice. Over the last 24 hours, we got clarity on him. How are you feeling about college sports these days? As someone who loves tradition and not anything ever changing.
I don't say that.
How are you feeling? We'll answer those questions and
I'm
more.
Okay with change.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about change, and we'll talk about SIP's love for name, image, likeness, and the transfer portal, and a whole lot more. What are you drinking? Let us know right now at USC 1620 with the hashtag One Beer Friday. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. Heads up, we've got a crash on West Center Road at 117th. Also, slow going on northbound 90th between Blondo and Maple. If you're headed north on 140th, some delays between 370 and I-80. And then the right lane still closed on the northbound JFK, causing delays around L Street. And then if you're south on the JFK, delays between Q Street and Childs Road. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Fernando's Omaha.
Thanks, Omaha. Thanks for voting Fernando's #1 for Omaha's Choice Awards for Best Mexican Restaurant and Best Margarita. Grab a friend or the whole family and get your fix. 2 locations and open 7 days a week. Fernando's, family-owned and community-served.
Here's a question for you. Why is it that some people aren't as stressed out about the future as you'd think they'd be? Answer? They're probably among the millions of Americans who have prepared themselves with emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply. If the worst ever happens, literally millions of American families are already protected from dealing with empty store shelves. Is yours? If not, go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now and grab some emergency food kits, at least one for each member of your family. These kits give you a wide variety of delicious meals that average over 2,000 calories per day. Everything stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage. Order your kits now by going to mypatriotsupply.com. Your order will ship fast and arrive discreetly in unmarked boxes. Listen, this is something you need to jump on now, before the next news headline stuns the world. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. mypatriotsupply.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Heading to a cookout with family or friends? Heading home from a ball game? Or heading no place in particular on a random weekday? All seems like great reasons to head over to Ted and Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream. Hey, it's Damon Benning from Sharp and Benning in the Morning. Ice cream on a hot summer day or night is awesome. And ice cream from Ted and Wally's is even awesomer. Yes, it's a word. You know me. I make them up, but not this time. Cones, cups, pints, quarts, even half gallons to go. Head to Ted and Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream. Celebrating more than 35 years. 2 locations, Benson and the Old Market. Visit tedandwallys.com.
Are you feeling the pain at the pump? Aren't we all? Well, Greenberg's Jewelers is going to relieve some of the pain with free Casey's gas. Right now at Greenberg's, when you make a jewelry purchase of $1,000 or more, you'll receive a $100 Casey's gift card for gas. Spend $2,000 or more, receive a $200 Casey's gift card. And when you spend $3,000 or more, receive a $300 Casey's gift card. We know there's shortages in the supply chain, but Greenberg's is stocked with hundreds of engagement rings, wedding bands, anniversary rings, loose diamonds, pendants, and earrings. So if you're looking for the perfect birthday or anniversary gift, or you're ready to pop the question, now's the time to take advantage of Greenberg's Casey's gift card gas offer to receive up to $300 in free gas. It'll be a gas. Greenberg's Jewelers, a cut above the rest. Westroads Mall.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
The Lindley Clothing Summer Sale is on now. Save big time store-wide. Shorts and sports shirts, golf wear, casual slacks and accessories, and suits and sport coats. The Lindley Clothing Summer Sale. Lindley Clothing at Linden Market, 132nd just north of Dodge.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
It'd be nice to have a pro
throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
throw.
It would be nice to have a pro
throw.
When you're gone.
I drank beer with my friends. Sometimes I had too many beers. I liked beer. I still like beer. Had beers, have some beers. One beer, drink beer, drinks beer, drank beer, and drinking beer. Upstairs, downstairs, where was it? I don't know, but I had one beer.
Friday!
We probably have Beer Center each week. Ralph Club biggest contributor.
Beer. I like beer. I don't know if you like Beer Center or not. What do you like to drink?
Next
I had one beer. Friday. Yeehaw! Hanging out and having some beers with friends, which I gladly do and which I fully embrace.
Well, you think it was... Nope, there was one beer.
Friday! Let's hear the chorus. When you say
Welcome back. It's the happy hour. It's a one beer Friday. Folks, it's July 15th. We're with Steve Sipple. My name's Josh Peterson. Nick Grimm is our doing a very good job producer today because he just turned on your microphone. Now, I will say this, though, Nick. I don't know what fight song that was ahead of the Michigan guest. I didn't recognize that one.
It said it was a Michigan fight song.
Oh, boy.
I was like, that's not Hail to the Victors. I don't know what song that one was.
Okay.
It's okay. Nick, it's okay.
It's
okay.
Fine. You've done a great job.
You've done a
I
very
don't
good
know what
job
else to
today.
tell you.
You've been impressive from the
I
start.
should have told you. Hail to the Victors. That's the famous one.
What are we going to do?
That's what I said I played. That's what it said I played.
Okay, what do you got here?
We got Firestone Walker Brewing Company, 805. This is from our dear friend, Eric Sorensen of D1 Baseball. Thank you to Eric. We're all enjoying it. Nick's got one. I got one. Sipple's got one.
And they're sweet.
You like
bottles.
it?
The
bottle.
The bottle and the design of the what'd you call it? The come on, the label.
Yeah.
The label.
Boy. Yeah.
Sweet. Cool.
Very cool. Very legal. Very cool. Now, Nick,
Black, white.
Nick mentioned this to me yesterday. He goes, Sipple loved the last time that he was in, he loved the beer. And I was like, oh boy, what was the beer? And so Nick, thankfully, Nick, great job. See, another
Nick,
very good
hell
job.
Nick, you pay attention to things.
Not always.
Now, how about this from Jordan? Nick, that was Hail to the Victors. I just didn't recognize that part. He goes, that was the super long intro to the greatest fight song in history.
See, I like the album versions of songs.
Oh, he's a full, you got to listen to the full album.
How would you describe this beer? You guys are millennials. I just like
I'm a
Coors
Zoomer.
Light.
He's a Zoomer.
Zoomer. This is good. This is good beer.
I'd say it's a nice strong ale taste. Is how I would describe it. Yeah.
Nice taste.
Very tasty.
It's really strong.
It's a good summer beer, I would say.
What does the inside of your cap say? Mine is
I threw it away.
Properly chill.
Oh, that's what I think they all say.
Oh,
which is interesting.
Not as fun.
Yeah. You can't tell me to properly chill it when it's already been chilled.
This is going to help our last hour.
You think so? Are you worried? Are you worried? Are you slowing down?
No.
Okay, good. Well, you're always very concerned about how the show is going to come off. So I was.
I want shows to be high energy.
I'd say that we've had a lot of energy today.
Yeah, and I don't like mailed it in Fridays.
I think we've had a really good show. We have gotten big picture. We've gotten small picture, though not so much the small picture. A lot of big picture conversations. And I think that you are one of the best people to talk to about where Nebraska football finds itself right now.
All right, you don't have to suck up the sip.
Precarious. No, I'm laying the groundwork before I mean. They find themselves in a precarious position.
Really cool,
you point that out. Now, you're wrong about a lot of your opinions, but talk about how they got to do it a certain way. It reminds you of the old days. You get the warm and fuzzies, romanticism. Not as many games on TV.
Too many damn games on. It screwed us all. Yeah, I mean, think about where football's gone. I mean, they're just chasing network money now.
I was thinking about that this morning, about how all of these moves are being made, and they're like, and we're richer. And it's like, how does that help a fan? Like, it can allow you maybe to hire better coaches and build cool facilities. But like, man, the fans just want to win. Like, congratulate. Like, John's been making fun of me for a variety of reasons for years, but specifically lately for being a Cowboys fan, because we should hang the banner that says revenue champions, Dallas Cowboys revenue champions. And at times I feel that that's what college football is now. Like, hey, we're in the
times you feel that
all the time. I feel that way.
Yeah.
Big Ten, like, Nebraska Memorial Stadium, they got on the west side of the stadium. They have all of the conference championships and the national championships. They need to start putting revenue champions up there because we're a Big Ten program. And it's like, I haven't talked to anybody who's excited about USC and UCLA. No one is like, this is so cool. Like,
no, it's not, because it's not that cool, because all it is a money move.
Yeah, like, will it be fun to watch Nebraska play in the Coliseum or the Rose Bowl? Like,
yes,
sure. And Ohio State playing USC and UCLA going to Michigan. Like, all that stuff is fun, but like, this isn't what I want. Like,
hold on now.
I liked it how it was.
Let's bring it back to fun, the fun thing. Okay, now hold on, because you are the one. See, now we drank beer and I got a belch.
Yeah.
Now, you are the one who pointed this out during a show last fall, I believe.
Okay.
When I was expressing consternation about NIL.
As you often do.
Not as much anymore. Here's why. Because you helped me. I watched yes, you did. I watched the NCAA tournament.
Oh yeah, I know what
and
you're gonna say.
and
yeah.
enjoyed it, and never was thinking about the state of college sports.
Sure.
NIL,
Yeah, definitely.
transfer portal. I enjoyed March Madness as much as I've ever enjoyed it, and perhaps more. I watched more games. I bet I watched 12 full games, which is crazy
Of
for me.
college basketball.
12 full games.
My apologies.
No, it
You
was
want
great.
another beer?
No, it was great. When the season comes around, we're going to enjoy.
Hell yeah, we are.
We're going to enjoy it. We're not going to be thinking about all the.
I agree.
But the revenue thing has become so ridiculous, and the Live Tour and college football is hand in hand in my mind right now. It's just it's just a very big, overt, obtuse, obnoxious money grab.
It's just such a weird conversation. It's like, am I supposed to be really happy that like Walmart did better on the margins because they decided to make some moves? It's like, no, I just want to watch the sport.
Right.
But
it's always about, but Nebraska's so well positioned financially.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. As a Nebraska fan, you should be happy that you're in a league that allows you to compete maybe at the highest level. But the financial part, it's like, why should you as a Nebraska fan really care? Like, oh, cool. Congrats to the university.
That's what we're celebrating?
I know. It's so funny. Like, the television deals are going to come down. But I feel that way. Like, I'm happy that players are able to make money now, but I do not care to know, like, how they're making it. You know, like, hey, Adrian Martinez signed with a deodorant company. Like, I don't care. Like, more power to you.
Yeah,
I don't do that with, like, NFL deals. Who's Dak Prescott making money from?
I don't know what to think. It's just become a little bit too in our face is what it amounts to. And I know you hate it when I do this, but we never had these conversations in the 80s. I mean, there was never, you just never did.
Yeah.
It was just, there's not that many games on TV.
Wait, which conversations are you talking about? Which conversations?
How much you're making from your conference media rights
Well,
deal.
yeah, because it wasn't like
Right.
a thing. It wasn't a thing. Who
No.
reported on it? You
Right.
know, like
It
who would even
wasn't
write
that big a deal.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't but now it's so part of us. It's almost like the final score of a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like the Big
that's how I
Ten's got to
feel.
be in a $60 to $80 million range in their media rights deal, which is $35 million more than the Pac-12. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's how I have felt, because I used to be someone, a huge dork, that would love seeing TV rating. Like, how many millions of people watch? And now I got to this point, it's like, why is that something that people are excited to discuss? You know, but I guess I don't want to be critical of someone. If you find interest in that type of information, that's awesome. You know, I get dorky about sports media news too, you know, so it's just, I don't know, man. It's just so funny. It's so funny where all this is kind of moved.
I guess it's funny. It's a lot of things have gone by the wayside. Like these discussions are kind of interesting with the super conferences. Does that just mean, like, how is Nebraska going to win a conference title? Like, is that discussion is just out the window? You have the banners now that hang over it, like for instance in the field house, the banners in the last conference championship banners 99. But are we even? You're going into a situation.
We don't even entertain it now.
Well, not only that, but is it even a conference champion? What are you going to call it? If it's 22 teams, is that a conference?
Yeah.
What is it? What are we winning?
Yeah, you're almost, when you talk about Super League, I almost think that they're going to have the Super League, and then they will, instead of having two conferences, they're going to say, okay, now we're going to have divisions, and so, like basically like the NFL. And so you will win your division,
divisional,
and that will get you the banner.
Oh.
But it's weird too, and there is going to be a time and a place to have the conversation about like what's Nebraska's, where do they fit into the new Big Ten. And because right now we're so focused on this year and Scott Frost, and I think rightfully so. But like in 2024, that I do want to have that discussion at some point. Like, okay, what's a good year? What is a good season for Nebraska in an unwieldy 20-team league, or even in an unwieldy 16-team conference?
You just don't know because you don't know who's going to be.
Like for the longest time in my life, I knew, like, if you were to ask me, Josh, what is it? What is a good year for Nebraska, or where should they be?
What's a good year for Nebraska? Where should they be?
I knew the answers over a 5-year period. What should Nebraska do inside that 5-year period? I could always kind of rattle it off. For the longest time, John and I said the sweet spot for Nebraska football, this was like at the end of the Bo era, was if they could find themselves where they were in the late 80s again, where they won the conference. Basically, it was like 2 to 3 times every 5 years. And, you know, in the division scenario, win the division maybe 4 out of 5 years. And you're always contending for it. Like that would be a nice sweet spot. And now I'm like, If they can go to a bowl game, like it's changed so much, and it's going to change even more with this new league. And so I don't even know what to do with it.
I guess we just don't worry about that right now.
That's true. Other things to worry about.
Yeah.
So you don't like it either. I'm gathering you're not
Well, do I? Okay. I was driving home last night. My neighbor stopped me and he was asking me these sorts of questions. Like, what do you think about all this? Like, what do you think about USC, UCLA? Well, I'll tell you what I think. I love it. I think it's cool. I think the 16
It's very cool.
I think the 16 team configuration in the Big Ten right now is super cool. Now, how long is it going to last?
Sure.
It's temporary. Everything.
Don't you just want to get to the end game so we know what it is?
So thank you. This is what I was going to say. Thank you, Josh. I think some of I'm not going to say I don't like it. I'm just saying some of the uneasiness is that everything feels temporary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like there's anything to grab onto.
Yeah.
Everything about college football feels pretty temporary to me. I don't know if NIL is going to be around.
It's a great point.
In its current state for much longer.
Yep.
I don't know.
The portal.
Will they keep the portal the way it is and with a 1 year free transfer, all
Playoffs
that?
obviously going to change.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
Everything. I think that's when you get right down to it. I think that everything feeling so temporary is what causes the uneasiness. I'm not saying dislike.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still looking forward to the season.
Definitely. See, and that's what I always come back to. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm excited for the season.
But
and I will watch the games.
Everything feels sort of temporary right now.
I said that to Robbie yesterday because, as you mentioned at the beginning of the segment, one of my criticisms of anyone who has complained about NIL is once the games start, we all shut up and we watch the football. And I was like, am I being hypocritical because I'm not liking this stuff? Even though I know when the games start, I'm going to watch and nothing's going to change. I'll be there. Look, I'll be there on Saturdays this fall and I'll be there next fall. And when USC and UCLA join 2024, I'll be there in that fall.
Yes.
Like nothing is going to change in that regard.
No, I came around on that.
Yeah.
With your help, with you and John's help. I'll just reiterate the NCAA basketball tournament was it really hit me when I was watching those games and enjoying them so much. Come on, this isn't so bad. I loved like the final. The Kansas,
Final Four was pretty fun.
The Final Four was great. The championship game was incredible.
Yeah.
It was just incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And you weren't thinking about all this stuff.
No, I wasn't watching that. Like, I wonder what they're getting paid.
I don't care.
Why do? Yeah, well, exactly.
Who cares? Yeah. So, and I'm sure I'll watch college football that way. But I don't know. I just don't know how soon it's all going to change again.
Yeah.
Right?
I think you hit on it. Just kind of the waiting for it to change. And we kind of went through the history of college football just quickly in our heads of when was the longest period of maybe things being stagnant in college football. And it rarely happens. Like there's usually some sort of movement.
Upheaval.
Yeah. And so I think what did we find? It was like 78 to like 90, maybe.
Okay. That's a nice period.
Yeah.
That's a great period.
It was just kind of, of course it was.
It was. I'm serious.
But the 80s were a lot of fun.
Thank you
a lot
for
of
the
different
sweet spot.
It was really nice. It was really
78 to 90 was a sweet
You had a
spot.
bunch of different champions. You had Miami come onto the scene.
Yeah.
You had Penn State win their first national championship. Obviously, Nebraska was really good. You had the kind of the last rungs of the Oklahoma Barry Switzer era in the 80s. Florida State emerges as a power.
And I will add that you weren't inundated with games on TV.
Oh,
you weren't.
Yeah, that's a bad take. Inundated. No, you just turn the channel. If you don't want to watch them, watch the HVC or something. You don't have to watch it. Watch the Home Shopping Network.
We're not going to go down this road, but
we don't have enough
part
time.
of the appeal of that sweet spot to which you refer, 78 to 90, was it wasn't overdone. It wasn't overcooked. It was just cool. It was just
Now, I will say that in all seriousness, it was a cool era of college football. The players were cool.
Yeah.
I was listening to a conversation.
Why do you say that? Who are you talking about?
Because there are personalities.
Boz,
Players were
Bosworth.
yes, exactly. I was listening to a story this week where they were talking about the 87 Fiesta Bowl and how Miami came off the airplane in fatigues. And I was imagining could that happen in 2022? The answer, of course, is no. But imagine if a school had the gumption to get off the plane like that.
Yeah.
We don't have teams that we hate for reasons like we hated Miami. Now
Like
it's
Schnellenberger landing on the 50-yard line for Media Day, Orange Bowl Media Day in a helicopter.
We don't have that
No,
anymore.
it's
It's
cool.
just all kind of joyless. Nobody can have
Joyless.
personalities.
Money grab, a joyless money grab.
Look, why did the Chubba Purdy quote land so loudly? Maybe because nobody says anything anymore, and so it's like, whoa, he finally said, someone said something, and we're like, oh, holy crap, did he mean it this way? And people used to talk, and they used to say things, and they used to make people like Bosworth
It was
piss people
fun.
off. It was
fun.
It's gotten so corporate, and I get it. Like again, they got to get their money.
You've come around to my way of thinking.
I'm getting older.
Yeah,
Be in my mid-30s this year when I turn 34.
It's not only let's drill down on this a little bit more.
Okay,
some of the lost appeal is because we established it feels temporary, but it's also the overt money grab. Like it's so in your face now, right?
Yeah, you can't like hide it.
No, I mean
they literally talk about that. This is
Yeah.
good for our conference because we can make money. You know, like it's a part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at least they don't try to sell us on it being anything but. You know,
No.
they're like, we're adding USC and UCLA
The-
because
you know what the most
they fit
Josh,
on
you
league.
could help me with this probably. This, you know what a great idea for a journalist a column would be.
You're the columnist. You tell me.
I should do this, and I haven't. I've just been so, I get a little bit myopic covering one team. If I was a national columnist, I would dive full bore into this topic.
Okay.
Tom Chattel has mentioned this in a column recently, the Omaha World Herald column.
The Skywriters Tour?
No, Trev Alberts mentioned this to me the other day. We have a college football. We have college football czars. We have them. They are the TV executive.
Yes, we do. That's true.
ESPN. Now what's the idea? Here's the idea. Who are they? We don't know who they are.
Who are the puppet masters?
Yeah, there are czars. Probably, I don't know.
Burke Magnus, I believe, is one name at ESPN. He's the guy to know.
And then there's some
At
executive at Fox.
Yep.
And if you really wanted to drill down on this, you would find out who the top sports executive for college football is at Fox and who the top sports executive at ESPN is. And those are your college football czars. That's who runs college football.
Man, that would be a great story.
That's who runs it.
Yeah, you
but you don't know who they are.
Yeah, we don't. We just know they're behind the scenes. They're involved.
Right.
How involved are they? What is Fox doing? What are they doing in this moment right now in college football?
Right. And how much power do they have? Enormous is the answer.
Yeah.
Is the answer.
Yeah.
They are the czars. They run college football.
All right, get on this.
Yeah. I'd like to know who those guys
are. It's a good read, man. It's a really good read. Jim says on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed, honestly, I get giddy when I hear how much money Nebraska gets from its TV deal. It means they don't need any money from me. Hey-o!
Hey-o! Hello!
It is funny. Like, that's why, whenever there's the pearl clutching about, like, oh my gosh, what does this mean when all these donors are giving their money directly to the players instead of the university? It's like, they're fine. They got to TV money. They'll be okay.
The money's almost endless.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yes.
I do not cry
No.
a single tear
No.
for the University of Nebraska if they lose a few bucks because donors are no longer donating to them. They
Right.
don't. I mean, look, do they want it? Yes. Do they need it? Absolutely not.
The one thing I want to tell you too is as much as consternation I have about NIL, I have no qualms about the players being paid. They should be paid. There's so much money that they should be paid.
I genuinely believe you when you say that. You just want guardrails, I guess.
Order.
Just want to kind of know what's going on.
Order.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, but then, it delves into all these other questions. Like, what do you do with the other athletes, other student athletes, and why aren't they making the same? I don't know. It gets really hairy, and it hasn't been worked out. And I don't blame the other thing that I know the take that I get criticized for is I don't blame the NCAA as much as I blame state government and journalists, media for pushing for NIL. They had to know. People had to know it. College sports wasn't ready for it, yet they pushed and pushed and pushed. The NCAA is at fault for not being ready for this 7, 8, 10 years ago. I will say that. But we all knew 2 years ago that nobody was ready for this, yet we still pushed. And then we point to the NCAA and say, it's your fault. No, it's not. It's not the NCAA's fault.
Because we still get mad at them for 20 years. Like they could have been on the forefront of this. That's why we're mad at them.
But I still look at the states and say, you pushed for it and you knew it wasn't. You just did it for political reasons mainly. It's uncomfortable.
Man, I feel like I'm coming over to your side more and more these days, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm becoming an old right before my eyes. Nick, you'll be there before you know it?
Nope.
No, you'll be there.
Nick,
I'll be young forever.
I remember. What are you, Nick?
25.
I remember when I was 25.
What are you now?
33. I'll be
Gosh,
34
that
in
was
a month
so
and a half.
long ago.
Wasn't that long ago,
Uh-uh.
Nick. Nick, I was 25 going into my first football season as this host. 25. You'll be an old before you know it. Just wait, because then there'll be a young Nick and on the there, and you'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so old."
Yeah, you'll be.
It just happens. You think you're cool and young, and then suddenly you're like, "Whoa, everything changed."
It's amazing.
Mullets are cool again. What the hell?
Is this you saying you'd like me to be your co-host at some
wow.
point?
I try
eventually?
to give Nick big red overreaction opportunities, and he always turns me down. I've tried.
You don't want me talking about Husker football.
Why, Nick?
I don't care about Husker football.
I think that'd be good. An impartial observer.
I was born and grew up in Iowa.
That's
I'm always
fine.
going to side with them anyway.
Are you Iowa
They don't
fan
play
or
Iowa.
Iowa State fan?
Iowa State family, but I prefer Iowa.
But they don't play Iowa and Iowa State. They only play Iowa once a year, and that's in November. They never play Iowa State. You're fine.
Mhm.
Now maybe they'll steal their head coach this offseason.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, okay.
That'd be definitely a guy they look at.
I'm a casual Hawkeye fan. That's
Casual
Hawkeye fan.
See that you're perfect. A perfect impartial observer
to host a Huskers post-game show.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
you bring
Nick. We want
you bring
impartiality.
Sanity to the discussion.
Sanity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it's very true. I mean, there's
It's funny, Nick. You're describing all these things that it's like that's good in a radio.
yeah, that's
host.
what you want.
It is. I appreciate it.
Objectivity, sanity, a cool head.
Because what would you say? How the media contingent at large? 99% of us went to the university.
Yeah.
I mean, Parker was like a rarity. Severe was a rarity.
Yeah,
you
Parker's a
know?
rarity.
Yeah. Everyone that's on the air full time right now in Nebraska or on the station went to Nebraska.
Yeah, or Nebraskans.
Yeah, or our Nebraska. But everyone on the state, all 5 of us, we got degrees from the university.
Oh, and me and producer Josh both went to Iowa Western.
There you go.
Look
See,
at
you
us.
guys are Iowa Western.
Iowa
homers.
Western.
Go Reavers.
Speaking of Iowa, Thomas Fedoni's from Iowa. When we return, he spoke to KETV yesterday, gave us an update on what the hell's going on with him injury-wise.
Yeah, we need to get into this.
We'll get into this. We'll do that when we return here on 1620 The Zone. Hey, everyone. Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. The weekend is finally here, and I imagine that you want to get out and play the game of golf. I was talking to my dad the other night. We're going to book a tee time for a day coming up very, very soon. If you would like to book a tee time for Miracle, give them a call at 402-498-0220. Whether it's a quick 9, a full 18 inside the Top Tracer building, which might be in the cards for you this weekend when the temperatures are going to get close to 100. You will. I always say they got you covered. Literally, you will be covered inside there. The Open is on, so you can watch that. Cool, comfortable food, drinks. You can do a variety of games. You can play a virtual game of golf on the very course that is being played overseas over the next couple of days. 402-498-0220. And don't forget about Mike Favre, their director of instruction. Been working with him now since 2017, early 2017. I was practically Nick's age in early 2017. And now as I've gone on into my 30s, I have continued to enjoy those lessons and made gains to my golf game each and every year. 402-498-0220. They're located just north of Dodge on 120th Street. Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Cloud coverage will be on the increase throughout the late evening and overnight for your Friday as temperatures only dip into the lower 70s. We're off to a muggy start for your Saturday morning right into the early afternoon as temperatures only rise into the mid to upper 80s. Be on the lookout for scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially south of I-80 for Saturday evening. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. Heads up that crash on southbound 156th just before Dodge, still causing delays. Same goes with the accident on eastbound Harrison at 96th. A wreck on 144th at Schramm Road, still causing some delays through there. And then the northbound JFK, some road work has the right lane closed at L Street, causing delays. And then heads up, there is a concert at West Fair tonight. So if you're over in Council Bluffs, avoid the area of the Highway 6 Iowa Western exit. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Methodist Health System.
When envisioning what kind of future is possible, the challenges never stop. And neither do we. Methodist, the meaning of care.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
No better time than now to focus on your garden or landscape. Come shop Lanahaw's Garden Center, filled with the area's best quality plants, flowers, and trees. Rooted in quality, unmatched value. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
1620 The Zone. Live and local, broadcasting 6A to 6P in the Host Coffee Zone studio. Host Coffee, building healthy and happy break room refreshment services to Omaha and Lincoln metro area businesses. Discover a better break room solution for your office at sales@hostcoffee.net.
With video games, I'm often choosing between what my kids want and what I think is best for them.
Hey, Mom, how about this one?
Rated T for teen with violence and suggestive themes. Let me check the rating summary. Frenetic combat, cries of pain, female warlords expose cleavage.
Maybe the other one's better.
The rating summaries are free. Use them and you'll be armed with the world's most powerful weapon, knowledge.
For more information, go to esrb.org.
The Lindley Clothing Summer Sale is on now. Save big time store-wide. Shorts and sports shirts, golf wear, casual slacks and accessories, and suits and sport coats. The Lindley Clothing Summer Sale. Lindley Clothing at Linden Market, 132nd, just north of Dodge.
This is unsportsmanlike conduct.
You help make it soft, so shut up.
On 1620, The Zone.
Josh Peterson, Steve Sipple, Nick Grimm on this One Beer Friday. What are you drinking? Let us know as the weekend arrives. It's going to be a hot one. The low tomorrow is like 75, and then it'll be at 5 a.m. before the sun's rising.
Gross.
Yeah, who knows that?
Oh, come on. It's
too
not
hot.
that gross.
I keep my apartment at 68.
I like this much better than the winter. I think you would agree.
Definitely. By far.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, Nick, I told you I had 12 hours till I woke up. No, I have 10 hours. I have 10 hours.
Oh, no.
10 and a half hours until I'm waking up. Yeah. So I'm already like mentally like.
You going to go to bed at 7 tonight?
No, I got to bed at 10. I'll get 6. I'll try to get 6. I'll try to get 10 to 4.
Then you're getting up and running how long?
15.
Ooh, big
15.
one.
Yeah. Just because the heat. Like,
Oh, you're running for 15 hours?
No.
15
definitely not.
15 miles. You have to avoid deer, coyotes, and
People that want
fox.
to shoot me.
Angry pit bulls.
Yeah.
Scott Frost fans that hate me.
Mhm.
All those
Scott Frost.
Yeah. That'd be cool if I saw Scott. Be like, hey, come on Sportsmanlike Conduct.
Yeah.
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 I don't think he would. But
I don't think he would.
yeah, we tried.
I've
We
asked
texted
him. I don't
once.
mind saying this. I don't think he would mind me saying this. I've asked for an interview this summer, and it's just not going to happen,
dude. It's way this off season. It's I don't want to just do the thing. It's like it's so different and unique, but man, this off season it's been so quiet.
Well, some of this though, I completely understand. If you're Scott Frost, what good does it do?
I'm not
for
being
him?
critical. Like was it Robin who reported yesterday, or he was at least the first person that I saw say this, that like they're going to Indy and they're coming right back home. They're doing their media stuff before Scott Frost even speaks. And it's like, well, that makes sense. Want to get back. The game is early this year.
The thing to know, no, it's not that. The thing to know is Nebraska goes to Indy for Big Ten Media Days on July 26th, which is the day the players report for camp. So they're in Chicago.
They could have
They
could have moved that date back though. What the report to camp? Date.
Not because of Chicago, not because of Indianapolis, not because of Big Ten Media Days. You don't move your camp back because of Big Ten Media Days.
Why not?
Because you got a certain amount of time to get ready for your opener, and you don't. There's only 3 players at Big Ten Media Days.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you adjust your team's schedule.
Like just one day.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
no,
One day.
No, because you can go in and go out of that thing. Go in and go out of Big Ten Media Days. Just go in and get out of there.
Mhm.
We're reporting.
Well, again, that's what I'm saying. Like they're just leaving right away.
Yeah,
It
they
just shows-
should.
Yeah,
but it's not because of pressure on Frost because he's trying to,
no. It's more the pressure of the lack of time of just like we got to get back, we got to get to work.
Yes,
like all that stuff makes sense to me.
Absolutely.
Speaking of fall camp, one of the players that don't think he'll be participating in fall camp is Thomas Fedoni. Now, so I went back. It's funny, we were just talking off air about note taking and stuff. I went back through my notes. And I tried to find, hey, when was the first time that I heard anything about an injury with Thomas Fedoni? And I was able to find a message on March the 12th is when I heard something. And it seemed by March the 14th, I had it kind of confirmed with somebody that he had messed up a knee. And so that was March. Spring game was still a few weeks away. And nary a word. I don't even think that was Frost ever even asked on the record about Thomas Fedoni. Was he asked? Okay,
sure he was.
So I couldn't remember that. But we've gotten like no clarity, unlike other injuries in the past, where he's like, yeah, he's nicked up, or we'll let you know. Like it seemed like this one was just this awkward period of like everyone kind of knows he's hurt.
You define it as awkward.
It's just weird. Like we all know he's hurt.
You define it as weird.
You don't define it. No, see, but you love it that coaches, you're okay with them keeping secrets.
It's not a secret. Here's the way I look at it, Josh. This is a way maybe an older gentleman would look at this. I don't need the information right now. They don't play the game
now, real quick,
until August 27th.
You don't need it, but yet you still have it. You have the information.
But it's to me.
You always say that like I don't need
it. Don't take this wrong. I respectfully, I appreciate what you do, and I'm always interested though. And how annoyed you get with this.
Because I want to know stuff.
I kind of do. My mindset though is, why is this a big deal? They don't play till the fall.
Now I would say the same. Can I flip that on you and say, why is this a big deal? They don't play until the fall.
I mean, seriously, flipped it.
I just did. No, if you're saying it's not a big deal, then I would say, yeah, you're right. They don't play till the fall. It's not a big deal. Just tell us.
Oh,
that's how I view it.
Okay, I see it.
It's like, what is keeping this a secret? What is that going to do?
Okay, now hold on. There's aspects.
Oh no, they're going to.
Did you ever think of this? It's possible Fedoni and his family said we don't want this discussed.
I mean, maybe that could be the case. Now, Fedoni, as we're about to play, he discussed it.
Eventually,
because originally,
not in the spring.
The first coach that I remember who was very anti any injuries being reported was Bo. And if I remember, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. See, now I remember it with Bo, but like where if someone reported it, he got pissed.
Tom didn't report injuries.
Yeah?
No.
But I remember with Bo, it seemed like it was, we want to let the families know, and then we'll talk about it.
That was some of that. Some of it's just, no, I granted, I agree with you. Some coaches are just being obstinate. I mean, and I think Scott has a high propensity to be obstinate.
Now, here's why I get annoyed with Frost specifically, because I'll be honest, it annoys the hell out of me that he does this type of stuff. And here's why. No, let me tell you why. Because Amazing Data says I heard Fedoni has lupus. It's just what I heard. What people are telling me. He did this with Adrian last year, where he's like, "There's all these rumors about him." The rumors were true. He messed up he messed up his jaw. We all knew.
Right.
Don't treat us like we're children. You know?
But that was complicated though, because Adrian didn't want it out.
That's
complicated. Adrian didn't want it out.
He didn't want it out. Frost didn't have to do what he did, though. He came on and said there's all these rumors about him. The rumors were true. He didn't have to acknowledge anything.
Well, he didn't. I mean,
he didn't have to do it that way.
We're splitting hairs at this point.
I don't think so.
A little bit. I mean, Frost, he keeps getting asked. He's got to say something.
Mm-hmm. He didn't have to say lupus. He didn't have to say there's all these rumors that aren't true. They were literally true.
But he didn't acknowledge it.
Yeah,
because he couldn't.
But
Adrian's family didn't want it.
We disagree on this stuff, and that's fine.
Yeah, I know,
but I just love knowing as much as I can.
I get that.
See, it's easy for you to say because you're so plugged. Like you know stuff.
I know. Okay, that's true. I mean, there's some perspective in that. That's true. Maybe that influences a little bit. Although I think if I was a fan, I'd be like, why am I losing sleep? This is March. They don't play for a long time. They're not playing next week.
Mm-hmm.
But
again, can I just flip that into yeah, you're right. They're not playing. So it's like, okay to say it's March. But now Fedoni didn't want it out. If the family didn't want it out, that's fine.
Possible.
I would say like you're a football player.
Here's
it's
thing.
Okay.
Now we can
but I'm not a football
move the
player.
Conversation along this way.
Yeah, we got to get to the audio too.
Yeah, get to the audio. The audio.
Oh, I thought you wanted to say.
Here's what I'd say about Thomas Fedoni.
Okay.
We're talking about position groups that could be above average, or how many do they have? And I think they have one right now.
And which one was that?
Average, yeah, outside linebackers, edge rushers, outside linebackers. Call them what you want. Caleb Tanner, Garrett Nelson, O'Shawn Mathis, Jamari Butler, Blaze Gunnerson, that group of guys. I think they have an above average group of players at that position, but I don't know if there's another position I could identify other than punter.
Mm-hmm.
You would have another one if Vokalek and Fedoni were playing simultaneously. If you
Definitely.
had a tight end position with Travis Vokalek and Thomas Fedoni healthy, that would be another above average position. It's also a commentary that is unfortunate and people don't like, but Frost has had a lot of bad luck here. Fedoni is a racehorse. He is a stallion. He is the kind of player that gets a program over the top. He's a TJ Hawkinson, that type of player, I think. I think he'll be that. He was judged to be the number 1 tight end in his recruiting class. He's that type of player we haven't even seen.
I know. It sucks. It genuinely sucks.
I obviously feel for the kid. I feel for the program. This is a highly recruited individual who's, I think, an impact player. And if you lay eyes on him, he's a wow player. Like he's like a Randy Gregory on that side of the ball.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh man.
And you get to a point. I know I've gotten there. It's like, how many more of these can he deal with? You know, to be so young, because first of all, you don't want to stop the development, and then you don't want to deal with injuries. And so he's done both of those. Let's get to the video. And so if you're watching on 1620 The Zone TV, you'll be able to see this. The rest of you will be able to hear it. This is from Ellie French over at KETV. So they did this story, and it aired last night. Only about a minute and a half, so we'll just play it in its totality. Here is that story from last night on KETV.
Thomas Fedoni was one of the top tight end recruits in the class of 2021.
Fedoni into the end zone for a touchdown.
But he couldn't show that his first season in Lincoln. A torn ACL from spring camp sidelined the Council Bluffs native for almost the entire regular season.
As much as it sucks, watching was the best thing that could have happened to me. When I got back, I was more confident. I was better than I was before, but obviously it sucks. I hate watching. I'm excited to get back. Can't wait to get back so I can help the team.
Fedoni was getting back on track this offseason until he suffered another setback.
I got hurt again this spring, March 22nd, I had surgery. So now I'm coming back from that. So, 2 surgeries, 2 injuries within a year. It was pretty tough, especially, coming in there hoping to have some impact early.
Fedoni appears doubtful for the start of training camp, but he's confident he'll make an impact this fall.
Ahead of where I was last time. I came back and played, so that's kind of how I'm looking at it. I should be back earlier than I was before. But then again, my trainer keeps telling me you can't rush time.
While his patience has been tested, Fedoni hasn't let the injuries dampen his drive.
I feel like I'm probably one of the more mentally tough people you'll ever meet. I feel like nothing's gonna stop me, hold me down. I could get hurt 50 more times, and I'm gonna keep going back. It's just my time is gonna come, and I'm just waiting for it.
In Council Bluffs, Ellie French, KTV News Watch 7.
So that was the report that aired last night. So, on the record, a couple of things. Had surgery for a second time. That was back at near the end of March. Doubtful for the start of fall camp. And kind of what we've all been alluding to or saying over the last, however many
right.
months.
The way I've regarded this is much like what he said, much like last year, maybe is a little more ahead of schedule. But I think if Thomas Fedoni plays for Nebraska, it would be in the second half of the season in a limited role.
Mm-hmm.
That's unfortunate.
It really is, because like you said, you look at the Scott Frost era and the players that they have brought into the program that they've recruited. He might be the highest rated of all the guys.
I think he is the highest.
Not to mention, too, a local guy. So it's always important to have those guys perform well, too.
Yeah, and a guy that you identify. If you lose that type of guy, it's a disaster.
Yeah.
But they got him, and now he can't. Now he's had
and you said it, a position group that could be a strength if he was, fully healthy.
Yeah.
If he was able to do what he did.
If you pair him, it's a beautiful pairing. Vokalek is this hulking 6'6". I don't know what he weighs. He's probably in the 260 range, 265. This hulking kind of, well, let's put it this way. Vokalek, if he wanted to, could probably be their best tackle. Now he can catch the ball too, but he's a great blocker.
Mm-hmm.
He might be the best blocker on the team. So you're pairing this hulking tight end and Travis Vokalek with a more dynamic pass catcher in Fedoni, more of a dynamic athlete, overall athlete.
Sure.
Stretch the field, speed. So yeah, it would be beautiful. It would be a beautiful thing for the quarterback, whoever that is, probably Casey Thompson, to have that option. They don't, they just don't.
Jordan says, report injuries. I need to know how to bet. See, what I'm hoping,
I get
what
that.
I'm hoping
I get
as
that.
sports gambling becomes more legalized is that conference force schools to report on injuries like the NFL
Does Belichick adhere to that?
Like trolls. Tom Brady was on the injury list for ever. He was always on it. But I hope they do. I hope that they force schools to report. I think it'd be good for all of us. I think it would. I know you disagree, but I think if everyone has to do it.
Hey, I don't necessarily disagree. I'm just not. I don't put a lot of passion into that discussion. I just don't.
Yeah, I'm a little triggered. I'll admit it.
Yeah, you are triggered by that.
Yeah, I am.
I've noticed that.
Yeah, I get a little triggered. I'll admit it. All right, we come back. Some unsportsmanlike content. Nick will read some questions. We'll have answers for him. And
that beer was good.
The show's almost over. This sucks.
Oh, come on. It was fun.
So that's why Sip and I were going to do a 4-hour podcast tonight. And we'll just kidding. I got to go to bed.
You got to run 15
Yeah,
miles.
I got to go to bed in like 4 hours. So we won't do that.
So it's a 3.5-hour podcast.
3.5-hour podcast. Thank you very much, Nick. So we all get home. And Sip's car is okay. His truck's okay.
Yep.
We're all feeling good. All right, we'll come back. Get to some unsportsmanlike conduct next on 1620 The Zone.
Zone, taste of our takes. Sharp and Benning in the morning.
So the rhythm of the game was not very good.
What are you, Janet Jackson or somebody?
It's the rhythm of the night.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to go into full.
No. You should have just stayed with
asked
Janet.
Before I said.
Just be a part of the Rhythm Nation.
I thought Rhythm was a dancer.
Oh my gosh.
Now, see ya.
For more, tune in every day to 1620 a.m. or go to 1620thezone.com.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory, explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
The Omaha Farmers Market is open every Saturday in the Old Market from 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and every Sunday in Exarban Village from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. May 7th through October 16th, enjoy the bountiful season of locally grown and handmade goods. Get the city's best selection of fresh produce, herbs, meat, and more. To keep up with what's in season, visit omahafarmersmarket.org and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Presented by University of Nebraska Omaha, Methodist Health System, and KETV Channel 7.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Spilled your milkshake? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading Ordinary brand. So you can get back to your milkshake.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
The Lindley Clothing Summer Sale is on now. Save big time store-wide. Shorts and sports shirts, golf wear, casual slacks and accessories, and suits and sport coats. The Lindley Clothing Summer Sale. Lindley Clothing at Linden Market, 132nd just north of Dodge.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Look, I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
content.
Unsportsmanlike content.
Unsportsmanlike content. Content that's unsportsmanlike. It is indeed time for some unsportsmanlike content, the part of the show where we discuss topics that perhaps we didn't have time for, which is basically like every topic because we talked a lot of Husker football today.
Yeah, it's that time.
It is that time.
Oh, it's that time.
Wow, you sound excited.
I'm excited. I don't regard it with as much gloom and doom as you do.
Well,
I'm excited
because you think they're going to go like 8-4 or something.
7.
It's funny that you and John always talk about July. Oh, that's a July topic, but all we've done all July is have topics.
We haven't had time for the July topics because news keeps happening. Come on, news, slow down. Nick, we acquiesce to you.
All right, well, speaking of slowing down, you think Tiger Woods is going to play next year's Masters?
Yes, I do. We had the quote from him earlier, not on our show. We read a quote from him earlier. Said he plans on playing in the Open Championship again. Probably not, though, ever at St. Andrews. It wouldn't surprise me, Sip, if he plays the next year's Masters, and actually that's his last tournament. But I think at the very least he's going to play in one more Masters.
The Masters is interesting to me, that conversation, because it's so hilly.
Yes,
I mean, what
is.
we're talking about is a guy that has a bad gait and has trouble walking a course.
Mm-hmm.
And see, the Open Championship's a pretty flat course. The weather was manageable, and he still had trouble. Now you go to Augusta, and that's a hilly course.
That said, it will be 9 months from now.
Yeah,
so more
that
time to
obviously
recover.
helps, more time.
Yeah, but I think he'll play.
Some of those golfers are odd to me that have so many injury problems because it's golf.
But man, that torque on your body.
Come on.
What? Go swing a club, you old man. You probably tear up your back within a day.
No, I wouldn't. That's
yeah,
the
you
thing.
would.
How do they get hurt all the time?
Because they swing a club really hard.
Oh, give me a break.
What are you talking
They're
about?
not taking a hit in a box. I mean,
that's not the sport.
No.
The sport
I
isn't
know.
taking a hit.
No.
You wish they
It's
could.
golf.
Tiger's going to get
Have
tackled.
you ever seen a hockey player get checked on the glass?
Yeah.
That's who gets hurt in this world, okay? Not a guy that has torque in his swing.
Oh, Lord, come on.
God. I'm injured. What? Like, did you play a hockey game over the weekend?
He tore his knee. Remember, he tore his ACL and he won the U.S. Open.
All right, Sip. Would
What?
you like golf better if, in order to play through, you had to just beat up the person?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, no, they're going to tackle him. He doesn't
Nick,
swing.
What I'm saying is, why do these golfers get hurt all the time? Like, why are they on the IL? What are you doing?
Swinging,
what kind of
torque.
workout are we doing here?
It's the torque.
It's the torque. It's the swing. The back swing.
Wow, I can tell you respect golfers.
No, I don't. I respect the game of golf.
I want you to do. Here's a story
It's
idea.
like
Go talk
bowlers.
to
Do bowlers get hurt too?
Probably. I don't know. Go talk to the golf coach at Nebraska and say, how
might
do
hurt their
golfers get
fingies.
hurt?
And he would say, we don't. How do you get hurt?
Well,
Twist your ankle on your backswing?
Oh, my gosh.
I think I know Sip's answer
I
to this
wrenched
one.
my back.
Yeah. What's this?
I might know Sip's answer to this one, but
Okay.
Josh, how interested are you in watching the Open Championship this weekend?
I'm interested, not as interested as I've been in the past. Luckily, it'll be on when I wake up tomorrow morning, so that'll be nice. I can
Yeah.
watch it while I
A lot
sit
of guys
there
will be done.
and drink my coffee. And then I'll watch it on Sunday for sure. But I haven't watched as much of the first 2 rounds as I would like. Now, you'll be tuned in, right? Sun up, sundown. You'll probably be waking up at 1 a.m.
Hey,
to watch.
I don't mind it. I mean,
Oh, are you hurt? Boo-hoo. That's what you'll be saying. to
Oh,
the
watch
golfers.
out for the torque.
yeah. This backswing. Well, come on. I twisted my ankle walking down 7. I mean, what are we doing? Anyway, no, I'm interested in Dustin Johnson.
Yeah.
DJ, Live Tour. How many opportunities will he get like this? Is he going to shove it in people's face if he wins it?
Well, shove what in people's
Just
face?
the whole
The torque.
Oh, the torque.
Yeah.
Look at my torque.
No, I'm talking about the Live
Oh, yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
You know.
ESPN.com put together a list of the 40 most impactful transfers in college football the last 5 years, and Nebraska made an appearance. Guys, 2 of them, in fact. Wandale leaving to go to Kentucky was ranked 33rd, and O'Shawn Mathis coming into the program was 25th. Given he hasn't played it down yet, what do you think of this ranking?
O'Shawn?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he has credentials. That's the thing. I mean, he had a 9-sack year or 7-sack year? 7-sack year at TCU. He has 12 sacks.
All conference player.
Yeah, 2-time second team all conference player. He's credentialed. It's big for
He's like a
Nebraska.
media member. He's credentialed.
No.
I was surprised. The thing that surprised me at this story was when I think of most impactful, I thought it's like looking in the past. And so like the first one was Joe Burrow. And it's like, that makes a lot of sense. And then Jalen Hurts. It's like, okay, Justin Fields. And then the fourth one was Caleb Williams, followed by Jordan Addison. And I was like, oh, so we're doing guys who haven't actually had an impact on their new
projecting.
school. Yeah.
We're projecting on O'Shawn Mathis.
So when you think about it from that perspective, I mean, like Quinn Ewers was 11th. Guy barely played at Ohio State if he played at all, and he's already number 11 for Texas. So,
projecting.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, man, if they're right, then Nebraska's getting a pass rusher.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. I think they're going to – I mean, that's one thing about Nebraska that I feel excited about. I think if you're a fan, you should feel excited about anyway is the pass rush. I think they're going to have one.
Yeah.
They just – I think Eric Chenander has to be very – I would think he's very excited about it, that part of his defense, because they have the guys to get it done now. Now, again, I draw the distinction. I like the prospects for the pass rush, but I'm still a little uneasy about run defense. I don't know what that's going to look like. I have a pretty good idea what pass rush is going to look like, and I like that vision in my head. The run defense, though, I don't know.
There's Ohio State up the – oh, they're not playing them. Michigan up the middle for another 9 yards.
Yeah, and in the second half of games in November, is Minnesota going to start hammering away and Wisconsin hammering away?
Iowa.
All right, Michigan on the road. When Nebraska plays Michigan and Ann Arbor, is Michigan just going to go into that mode that they went into at the Horseshoe?
Mm-hmm.
Was that the Horseshoe?
No, it's at the
Big House. Are they going to go into? Yeah, they're going to go into that mode where they just keep the ball away from you, bludgeon you.
It's a good question.
Yeah, that's that you got to stand up to that. Ohio State didn't.
No, they did not.
Average defense. Ohio State had an average defense.
Tristan Clausen, a teacher in Canada, played a trombone to fend off a black bear that was around the school. He wasn't a fan of my playing. I'll tell you that, says Tristan Clausen. I was making a lot of noise on that thing. Was this because the bear is like Josh and prefers to listen to podcasts, or is the teacher bad at playing the trombone?
Were you talking?
He was
you're an
Canadian.
Irishman.
Sorry.
That's what John says about my Canadian accent. Oh, sorry, eh?
You
It's
sound
me,
like
a
an Irishman.
Canadian. I bet the teacher sucked at playing a trombone, Nick. I bet that was the problem. The bear was like, oh, get out of here with your garbage. Trombone always seemed like a hard instrument to play. I didn't play the trombone. I was a trumpet boy.
But I'll tell you what, that's an admirable move by that teacher.
Hey, good on him. What if you would have gotten mauled and eaten?
Watch it when you're jogging tomorrow.
Watch out for bears.
Watch out for bring a trombone just in case.
Coyotes generally, I've been told, are afraid of you.
Yeah, and that's why they maul me. Oh, I'm afraid of you. Arr.
Oh, no. I think if I remember right, bears hate trombones, coyotes hate saxophones.
Okay, well, good. I won't bring us...
And violas.
Yeah, yes, violas. Harpsichord, but that's a little harder to run with. Earlier today, our very own Ravi Lula ranked his top 5 summer drinks. What drinks would make your top 5 for the months of June, July, and August?
You and I are on the same wavelength for the number 1, aren't we?
Yeah.
Margs?
Yes.
Oh, jalapeno marg?
Oh, that sounds good.
That's always a part of my Saturday, by the way. That's a reward for my long run.
Good for you.
Hell yeah, I make it from scratch every Saturday.
Oh,
it's lovely.
Wow, that sounds good
yeah,
right
it's
now.
tasty.
I wonder, this could be a marg weekend.
Yeah. Oh, heck yeah. I also like a nice shandy, like a lemon shandy.
Okay.
Shandy
Summer
beer.
shandy?
Yeah.
That's very millennial of you.
Oh, heck yeah, it is. A nice double IPA sounds
Gross.
absolutely. I had a double IPA last night. What do you mean gross?
I don't like IPAs that much. I'm okay with them, but
that's only 3. But
Where do I go besides marg? Nowhere but Corona and Modelo, probably.
Yeah.
You don't like mules?
A little lime in it. I'm not a big mule
Oh,
guy.
I love mules.
I don't mind mules.
Mules are
okay.
That's probably my top summer drink.
Yeah.
I had
Those are
Modelo's down in Mexico. That was nice.
Yeah, Modelo's good. Corona's really good.
Very good
I'm not a big beer drinker, but I like a Corona.
Yeah.
It's so smooth.
Yum.
And speaking of summer, Sip, yours is basically done. Big Ten Media Days are less than 2 weeks away. Fall camp starts hours later. This is it. Did you enjoy your time off?
I didn't have a lot of time off. I didn't have it. I don't know. That's an interesting concept to me, time off. Fun sort of a concept to me. It's not reality.
It's hilarious. Like you took when you left the paper, went to the website, you had like a month-ish, but you were still doing the show.
Well, I did the show every day.
Yeah.
And closing the deal on the paper and transferring to a new job, I figure that month I actually had a week where I didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I just took a week off this year. That's it. Week.
Fun.
But Jake Sorensen, my co-host in in
you do a show
in Lincoln, right?
Oh.
He says my book would be entitled "I Missed Out on All the Fun."
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
You should go to Sarpy County.
Shopping fun. How about this? A compliment as we go to break and get
Okay.
ready to wrap up the show. Joel says Sip is such a great guest, so polite and plays nice with the banter. Also crazy knowledgeable. I'm here for it.
Oh, wow,
That's
Boy,
very.
you don't need to say that, but thank you.
That was very kind of Joel.
Yeah, Joel.
Yep.
Thank you, Joel.
Yeah. Now he has bad takes on coaches reporting
Really?
injuries, but otherwise, we're
you
fans.
need to just calm down.
No, never. I'm
And
consistent.
don't
I'm
say
this
that
way
whole
with-
thing where Sip, you're so connected. You know what's going on as much as I do most of the time.
Yeah, but I just want to talk about it on the air, not have to couch it in like,
Oh,
we heard of Fedoni. Should I start doing it then? See, and that's like I want to talk about it on the show.
I got it. I think that's something you need to get over.
I have to deal with it.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
There's a lot of things going on in this world that seem like they're more important.
I get mad about those things too. Including, you know what I get mad at? My poor record in Bet of the Day.
Oh,
I'm fine
poor.
with mine.
Yeah, we'll come back and wrap
Poor.
up the show with Bet of the Day next year on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Guys, if you have been suffering from erectile dysfunction, you need to listen up because the little blue pill, while it works, does come with side effects. Plus, you got to time every intimate moment to the taking of that little blue pill. Well, with the advanced wave technology available at Brookside Medical Clinic, you can solve your ED problems and no longer be reliant on medications. The advanced wave technology has been shown by Cambridge University to regrow and restore blood flow, which means that gets the little guy working when you want it to work, which means no more waiting, means no more medication, means you can get back to your normal way of life. Call them today at 402-671-7777. You can get a free blood flow ultrasound and consultation. That's right, absolutely free. Plus, if you call 402-671-7777, they'll also add a special gift that is sure to help in the bedroom. So visit my friends at Brookside Medical Clinic and get back to the normal way of life. Brookside Medical, 402-671-7777.
There are actually two kinds of cigars. The first is the one you smoke with beloved family and friends. The second, the one you enjoy with friends you've just met. And you'll find both at Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge. At Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, there's a well-stocked humidor with some of the best bands from around the world and a bar with your favorite cocktails and other drinkables. So what do you say? Which cigar will you be enjoying tonight? Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 and 48th Street next to Cubby's.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Imagine it's a scorcher and your home's AC just quit. Sometimes it's beyond repair and needs to be replaced. At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, our comfort specialists take the frustration out of the equation. Modern AC systems are more energy efficient, which is good news for your energy bill. Call 402-788-1234 or visit McCarthy's1hour.com.
Always on time, or you don't pay time. Always on time, or you don't pay time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
It's unsportsmanlike conduct.
Isn't that what the internet is for? Moves.
The 1620 The Zone.
You know why I'm laughing, don't you? Now, it's time for the unsportsmanlike conduct bet of the day.
Just a little bit under where some folks would like to see this one wind up.
Brought to you by nobody.
You gotta be kidding.
Really, we don't have a sponsor. Sorry.
All right, so yesterday, John and I both had parlays that included the Blue Jays.
You sure did.
Parlays.
Nick had the Royals, though.
Because I wasn't a coward. I wasn't a coward.
Nick picked the Kansas City Storm Chasers, and they beat the Blue Jays. Very funny. John and I lost.
Kansas City Storm.
Bet of the day.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
you got it. Bet of the day for the weekend. I'm going to go with a golf pick. Give me Rory. I wish his odds were a bit longer to win the Open Championship, plus 340. He actually has the second best odds, even though he's not in second place. Rory McIlroy to win the Open Championship, plus 340.
You don't like DJ?
No, I like Rory. Do you like DJ? You want him to be your bet of the day?
Yeah. Yes.
He is
Dustin
wow
Johnson.
plus 1,100. Wow, you got crazy odds.
Okay, I'll take
All right, Nick.
I want.
Sound like an old.
Give me the Orioles.
Oh, I always have to Google how to spell Orioles.
Are you kidding me?
Orioles.
Josh.
What? Sip. I don't
Plus-
type Orioles very often.
It's plus 104.
You know, in a
It's a better day.
in a column one time, I referred to Oreos as Oreos, the cookie, and Brian Christopherson woke me up, and it was a bold trip, and he said, "Oh, you got a pretty major error in your column."
And it made it?
Yeah, it got
Ooh.
through. Yeah,
Like into the actual paper?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Should have rolled with it.
Yeah, the Oreos.
Like, say, it's like you wrote the column from the perspective of somebody who can't do their L's.
We read that.
I don't think that's a plausible explanation.
we read that very complimentary tweet about you from Joel.
So we got to balance it out.
Well, Brandon goes, MFers act like they forgot about Sip. Basically saying it's like, hey, what a guy. We've never heard this guy before. Made me giggle.
Yeah, that's
Trenton says Monolithic Brewing on 120th and Fort currently has a watermelon shandy that's amazing.
Ooh.
Trenton, great take.
Watermelon.
That shandy is awesome.
Do they have
Oh.
Budweiser leaded?
No, it's a brewery.
You say
have
leaded?
They have craft beer. They do have their own light beer though.
Sorry, I prefer ethanol Budweiser sip.
Oh, you never heard that term, Nick?
Budweiser leaded.
Yeah, Budweiser leaded. That's Bud
No.
Heavy.
Bud Heavy.
Just normal. Is that just Budweiser?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the regular. Sip, this was a great time.
I know it was. It was a good show.
We had so many topics that we never got a chance to get to today, including gambling coming to Lincoln. I wanted to ask you about Chubba. We never got to talk about Chubba.
Chubba.
You know.
I remember that day, and I
You said it
remember
so funny.
I said it
I
oddly.
love that.
Chubba.
Chubba.
And this is probably it for you filling in because now
Why?
it's football
Why?
season. Because football season, you're busy all the time now. You got columns to write. You got stories to write.
I think there could be
Oreos.
a time.
Yeah. Well, John's going to be gone a few days next month.
Well, what the hell?
Okay. Well,
What
we'll
are
let
we
you know.
doing?
Well, I'll call you.
Yeah.
We'll have a great
Yeah,
time.
we can do it.
Talk about injuries, but not on the record. Just talk about it off the air.
Let's
just do that during the
all
commercial.
right, talk about golfer injuries.
Talk about golf.
Bad
oh,
golfer
yeah,
injury.
Torque.
somebody, Jim said, Sip's friends can't do 18 today. I torqued my back. And then you in your face, just shaking your head. That was a fun show.
I'm injured.
If you missed any of it, please do go check out the radio replay. Watch the whole video at YouTube. Have a awesome weekend. For Sip, for Nick, I'm Josh. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.